if it were somehow possible that any person in this city didn't know that Michael Jordan had returned to the Bulls, just take a look at the Prudential Building downtown. It's all over the place. MJ back in a Bulls uniform and playing tonight. Well, why did he come back? That's a question that's been asked a million times since his return to basketball, and it's one that Wayne Larrivee put to Michael Jordan in an exclusive interview that they held yesterday.
Michael, almost 2 years ago, you left basketball. You wanted to get away from the media. They had no more challenges. Less than 2 years, you're back. Why now? Why jump back into a fishbowl that's even bigger than the one you left?
Well, I mean, either way, my life has been a fishbowl no matter what. You know, on the court, off the court. That's just something that I've kind of created for myself and certainly of my family. But I think being that I'm older, I know how to deal with that, especially for my family's sake. You know, when I'm with my family, that's my private life. That's certainly, you know, my time with them. I think one thing I kind of totally forgot, you know, once I retired 18 months ago, was my love for the game of basketball. As much as I tried to stay away from the game, I mean, the more times that I played, the more times that my appetite got wet. So, you know, once the baseball situation kind of diffused a little bit, I mean, it was good for me. I think it really gave me a chance to get my mind away from the game of basketball and more or less go back to the basics of, you know, participating, you know, from a, you know, not from a standard of, you know, high standards that I've set for myself, but down where I had to work to get what I got.
You're coming home tonight, but this arena isn't really home. I mean, your home is across the street.
Well, the way that I see it is it's the neighborhood. It's the same neighborhood, but it's a different house. And it's a lot of resemblance to my new home or to the old home. But I guess, you know, things have changed, and it's pretty modern, and certainly you have to make it your home, and you have to bring some of those pieces from the old place to here just to make it your new home. So I'd rather have the old stadium, but you know, in terms of modifications, I have to deal with this. And you know, for the time being, this is going to be my home until I get comfortable.
So what's your future? How long are you here for?
Well, I mean, I got to finish out my contract, and you know, that's a couple of years, I think. And from that point on, I mean, I got to evaluate what my interests are at that particular time. And I don't want to look so far in the future that, you know, I'm pressed to live out a certain schedule. My life has always been, and my motto has always been to live it day by day, you know, and not try to think so far in advance that you kind of forget about the present. You know, I want to live for the present at this particular time, and the present is that I'm playing for the Bulls now, and I look forward to finishing out my contract. Now, what happens from that point on, you know, certainly is whatever I feel at that moment.
They couldn't restructure your contract, Scottie Pippen's contract, or anybody else's contract. Were there any stipulations that Scottie and Phil Jackson and you would be together through the duration?
It was a question, certainly. You know, I wanted to know what the status of these gentlemen were. I mean, I wasn't demanding not one thing. I've never demanded since I've been here, and I wasn't going to start at that particular time. Even so, you know, I could have easily, but I've never operated from that angle, you know. And yeah, I asked about Phil, I asked about BJ, I asked about Pippen, Tony, you know, just to see where I stood, you know, and that had a lot to do in my decision-making. But, you know, I didn't demand these guys to get new contracts or you know, whatever, you know, what all the speculations were. But, you know, in terms of myself, I didn't ask for no extra money. I knew I couldn't because of the moratorium, and I came back under my old contract.
This team, do you think it can win a fourth title as it's constituted?
Certainly. I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
Tonight is a night that a lot of people in Chicago have been waiting for almost 2 years. What is your feeling going to be like as you wait to be introduced?
The thing that I feel is the crowd and the inspiration that they always have given me in the past, and I don't anticipate it being any different. You know, I mean, that's the adrenaline that the home crowd presents to their home team. I'm a part of this home team now, so I look forward to that adrenaline going through me, and certainly the inspiration to prove to the city of Chicago that we're not ready to go to wait till next year attitudes. We still have an opportunity to make things happen now, and just don't give up on us. Just, you know, support us as they always have, and we will certainly try to do the best job that we can on the basketball court.
And we'll hear more from Michael Jordan at halftime. Meantime, about T-minus 5 minutes and counting until Michael makes his first appearance on the United Center floor. Get those VCRs ready. We've got our cameras going, and we'll be back with all of it right after this. the United Center filling up quickly tonight, and the air of anticipation is just hanging in the building as we're about 3 or 4 minutes away from Michael Jordan's appearance on the floor. Before he comes out, we send it down to Rich King, who's got one of the biggest Bulls fans around standing right next to him. Rich?
Well, I tell you, Dan, you're just right. Everybody's waiting here for Michael to come in this foyer area, but he mentioned Jeremy Roenick, the hockey superstar here in Chicago. Jeremy, I imagine you're just like a fan tonight, huh?
Oh, I'm always a fan, especially when it comes to Michael Jordan. You know, he's a class act guy. He's done so much for the city. He's done so much for sports in general, and it's great to see him come back. I had a feeling he would, and I think he's going to rock this town tonight.
You know, the Blackhawks, of course, have a lot of stars, players too, like yourself. And the Bulls are coming out. Jeremy, they're coming out, so let's go to them, okay?
All right, let's do it.
All right, Bulls are coming out. Let's go to it, Dan. Michael Jordan.
Okay, Rich, thank you very much. So in just a moment, we'll get Michael Jordan out onto the floor. Again, the air of anticipation in here is just terrific as you see some of the Bulls coming out of the locker room. And if you've watched this team for very long at all, you know they have a special ritual they go through before every single game. It's one that began with former Bull Cliff Levingston as they stretch out and get ready down there in the tunnel. But the Bulls will come together in a huddle. They'll all put a hand in, heads down low, and somebody will yell, "What time is it?" And you probably know the answer. Game time. And for the first time, it'll be game time with Michael Jordan in uniform in the United Center. We've yet to see Michael's appearance. He hasn't come out of the locker room yet, but there's Ron Harper. You saw Corey Blunt and a pretty good assemblage of media down there to capture the moment. Tony Kukoc on his way out of the locker room, and certainly we expect to see Michael coming out momentarily. And there he is, number 45, and being tracked down the hall by a number of camera people. We'll talk to Michael after the game, carry his press conference live, and ask him what he was feeling when he walked down that tunnel before this basketball game. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the history of the game, returning to the Chicago Bulls this week and playing his first home game tonight right here on WGA. Bulls getting ready to get into their huddle here. And here we go, waiting for a couple of stragglers.
It's all good from here on out.
What time is it? Game time.
Michael's back, all right, so let's burn the SHAQ. We'll see how that comes, but in the meantime, you saw Michael Jordan take the floor with a big grin on his face. Back home again at last. 21 months after his last professional basketball game, the King is back in the building. you'll see signs and placards and banners being held up all night long. Many of those commercial entities, a lot of companies are passing them out to the fans as they come in. Many of the other ones, though, like the one you just saw there, homemade, number 45, Michael Jordan. Still sounds kind of strange when it rolls off your tongue, but I'll tell you, it won't be long until Michael and that number are old hat here in the United Center.
The roar was deafening, wasn't it, Allison? I couldn't even hear Mike watching Horace at center. Everyone took a look at Michael coming out. Even Horace had to glance to see what he looked like.
And the best part is, as Michael takes his practice layups, every time he makes one, the fans go crazy.
It's like a rock concert here. Everyone trying to get close to the stage, taking pictures whenever Michael does anything, whenever he's in a clear view of them. And it's funny because as you watch the Magic here, they're trying to be unaffected, but occasionally they will steal a glance.
Got to be quite intimidating. This is a night that's going to make history. The fans here, I can't wait to talk with them. This is going to be fabulous.
For once, we may see if the Bulls can turn this new building, the United Center, into some sort of home court advantage similar to the place across the street.
We're going to hear a roar. We're definitely going to hear a roar.
I think so. Let's hear from Dan Roan now.
All right, you guys, thank you very much. Yeah, that will be something to see. You know, I was here the night that the announcement, not that the announcement had been made, but the night that the rumor had started to circulate around Chicago that Michael may be on his way back to basketball. And I'll tell you what, there was a palpable electricity in the building even then, that night and the next night when the Lakers played on a Saturday. You could tell the crowd was a little bit more jacked up than it had been during the course of the season up to that point. And now, of course, tonight, I don't see a fan in the house sitting down in his seat at this point. Everybody on their feet trying to catch a glimpse of this historic moment. Michael Jordan taking the floor at the United Center. Man, I'll tell you what, I've worked in this town for 11 years now, and I've seen most of the great moments in the recent history of Chicago sports. The Bears, the Cubs winning for the first time in 39 years, the White Sox claiming a division championship, and of course the Bulls having 3. But I'll tell you one thing, this is one of those spine-chilling moments that you'll remember for a long, long time.
Okay, we're here at courtside here. Michael Jordan, of course, on the court. I'll tell you, the excitement here is tremendous, Dan. Let's get a shot of Michael as we get him from the end zone view, so to speak, making the free throws before the game. A tremendous ovation. We had a good chance, had a camera down there, of course, in the microphone, right in that Bulls huddle, as you heard live here on WGN, about the pregame activities they go through, the rah-rah spirit. So we're going to go back to Dan Roan up on the perch right now, but it's excitement galore down here at the courtside, Dan.
All right, Rich, thanks very much. He's on the floor getting warmed up. We'll let Michael take care of himself down there and let you get a break and come back with basketball here on WGN. Michael and the Bulls against SHAQ and the Magic coming your way next. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the game.
Of Ray Clay, the public address announcer here at the United Center. He did the introductions at Chicago Stadium when the Bulls were winning their 3 world championships. They were so dramatic, many teams around the NBA have copied them. But there is nothing like the moment in Chicago after Ray Clay introduces the visiting team. The lights go down, the music starts, and the Chicago introduction. Let's join Ray Clay now as he's introducing the Orlando Magic.
6'8", Donald Royal. And the other forward, 6'10", from Clemson, Horace Grant. At center, 7'1", from Louisiana State, Shaquille O'Neal. A 6'7" guard from Memphis State, Anthony Hardaway.
can say is, wow, this place was electric. I only hope you got a sense of it on the television screen. Phil Jackson, who's retained his poise during this incredible, earth-shattering in the world of sports news that Michael Jordan was returning. Michael is back, and tonight I had a brief moment of dinner with Phil Jackson, who was calm and collected, sitting with Tex Winter, and he said, I know that Michael will work back in. We know what he can do. It'll take a little bit of time for all of us to get used to having Michael Jordan and to quit standing around and watching him play on the same team. And Doug, that's something you pointed out in first game 1 and game 2, that Michael Jordan is such a star that even the teammates can watch it.
Bob, he will find where he fits within this team. He wants the guys to continue to play their game, and he'll fit and adjust his. You know, the great players don't want the other guys adjusting to them, and I look for him as this next month goes along to really start taking his game back to new heights. And, you know, right now he's still feeling himself along, shooting more jump shots rather than taking the ball to the basket.
And we've seen it so many times as he stops over to talk to the Chicago announcer, Johnny Red Kerr. He dusts his hands, he wipes his feet on that homecoming pad. I have a feeling it says, welcome to Sweet Home Chicago, Michael. Shaquille O'Neal says just business as usual for me, but you could see before the game that Shaquille is enjoying the stage.
It's going to be very interesting to me to see how Orlando handles this. This is almost an overwhelming kind of evening, and if you look out there, remember, this is a relatively young team. Other than Horace Grant, Penny Hardaway, a very young player, Nick Anderson, still a very young player, Shaquille O'Neal. This is a real test for this team on the road in this kind of environment.
And they're back in action. Orlando Magic with the ball. B.J. Armstrong matched up against Hardaway. Jordan against Anderson early.
Well, Nick Anderson must keep Michael busy, not let him roam. Michael's going to be the double teamer. The ball goes into SHAQ, and he misses his first little jump shot.
Purdue with the rebound. Bulls with the ball. Remember, they run that triple post offense. Phil Jackson said it's just the same as usual, except, of course, we can do a couple of more things with Michael. Early down to Scottie Pippen. To Will Purdue. He's fouled. It's Shaquille O'Neal.
The Bulls have so many weapons, and when you think of their offense, their post players are actually Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. So both of those guys will command a lot of respect in the low post. Will Purdue is a guy that gets a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of easy baskets, because he never stands. He moves to the open area and gives them a passing lane.
And he shoots about the same level of free throw percentage as Shaquille O'Neal, 55%, one of the areas that Will Purdue is weak in. However, he hits the first one there. I asked Will about his feelings about Michael. What did Michael say to him when he came back to the team? Purdue misses, out of bounds, Orlando ball, and he said, I'll tell you the same thing I told Bill Cartwright. Get out of my way in the middle.
I think the one thing these guys have to do is be prepared now when Michael penetrates the basket to always be ready for a pass coming at a very improbable angle.
1-0, the Bulls on the Purdue free throw. Nick Anderson, it's 3-1.
Nick Anderson
Orlando
has become a terrific three-point shooter, Bob, shooting almost 43% on the season. He's 10th in the NBA. He's made 162 three-point shots this year.
Jordan gives it up to B.J. Armstrong. Pippen misses the two. He stepped on the line. Nick Anderson with the rebound, and not to be lost in all of this, remember, Orlando is the #1 team in the East. Will Purdue got in front of that pass, tipped it. B.J. Armstrong.
The Bulls will look to run more now. They'll look to try to create turnovers. They really have 4 very good lane runners on the floor right now.
Donald Royal with the drive. Shaquille with the tip. It's kept alive. Shaquille Jordan comes away with it. He's on the run. Pippen left. Armstrong right. B.J. Quickly followed by Shaquille O'Neal. On the court length pass, Orlando answers quickly. It's Chicago 6, Orlando 5.
One of the things the Bulls are going to have to be aware of is that Orlando will run even after made field goals, and Shaquille has a tendency to lay back and look for the easy one behind the defense. He got it that time.
Michael fakes the long-range jumper, steps in, out of bounds, tipped by Anthony Hardaway, so the ball will belong to Chicago with 8 on the shot clock. He is tight.
I was kidding Mike Mathis before the game about calling a foul on Michael, and looked like he helped Michael there, calling a little tip ball, so Michael didn't shoot an air ball in his first shot in the United Center.
Purdue misses the bank shot. 6-5, Bulls by 1. 9:47 to go, quarter number 1. Nick Anderson. 2 threes in a row. He is a local player who played at Simeon High School here in Chicago, and he's pumped up for the game because he has a lot of his family and friends here.
And he's played against Michael Jordan before, so he knows Michael, so he's a little bit confident. He has his rhythm in this game early.
Kukoc in the post, the 6'10 Croatian sensation, Tony Kukoc, who's had a little bit of trouble getting used to playing with his idol, a man he grew up idolizing. Shaquille over Purdue.
Well, that's terrific low post position, and you get the great spacing because Nick Anderson's hit 2 threes. Michael has to really cover him out there. They drop the ball in the post, and Shaquille's got so much room to work before the double team can get back to him.
And very early, Phil Jackson calls a 22nd timeout to regroup with his team. Obviously a very tight Chicago team, but they're down to 10-8. Shaquille operating early.
Well, I think this is a very good start. Look at the spacing on the floor. Nick Anderson, and Michael gives him a lot of room there. Normally, Michael is going to be up either pressuring the basketball or he'll lay back and read that passing lane. Many times he'll jump up and steal that entry pass. But I like what Orlando's done early in this game. They've taken this emotional surge. They played about 3 minutes, and they really haven't got out of the scheme of what they want to do. Penny Hardaway has brought the ball up the floor. He's got them into their attack. They've looked inside to Shaquille O'Neal. They kicked the ball outside, and Nick Anderson's hit 2 3-point field goals. So they've had a good inside-out attack here in the first part of the game.
Speaking of that, Anderson outside 6 points, O'Neal inside 4, all 10 of the Magic points. Bulls down 2. Loose ball foul.
Loose ball foul, Chicago Bulls.
It's on Scottie Pippen, his first person.
See, I look for Anthony Hardaway to try to post up against B.J. Armstrong. They have the advantage there. They have not looked to do that there in the first quarter, but I think that he can take him inside and maybe give Shaquille a chance to maybe step outside and take a blow. Let's see if they go into post to Anthony Hardaway here.
Thought about it. 10 to shoot. In the post to Horace Grant. Armstrong stepping around. And that'll be his first personal foul. B.J. Armstrong.
His first, the team's second.
Bob, what they did, Anthony Hardaway tries to run this little rub cut. When they do, they switch it and they put Scottie Pippen on him, so they tried to take away his post game. He goes out to the corner. Here he is now posting up inside. See if they have to double team.
Pulls up from 17 feet. O'Neal with the offensive board and the foul.
See, all the things that have been lost, Bob and Michael coming back, and still the Bulls have an inherent weakness with this team. They're not a good rebounding team. They don't have a physical presence inside. For them to win the championship, they must shore up that lane area. Remember now, no Bill Cartwright, no Horace Grant, no Scott Williams, all guys that played big minutes and big roles in Michael's championship years here.
And from a few years ago, no Charles Oakley. Phil Jackson did tell me that Will Purdue may not be big enough or strong enough to handle Shaquille O'Neal, and we'll see more time from Luke Longley. Longley steps in here after only 3.5 minutes have been played in the game. Longley, a bigger player, longer arms, and he's only 10 pounds lighter than Shaquille O'Neal at 7'2", 270 pounds. Posting Michael. 8 to shoot.
Nick Anderson does not want to let Michael go baseline. He said if he goes baseline, I'm in trouble. So you could see his first move there was to try to seal that baseline off. He had quick hands. He knocked the ball away from Michael on the dribble.
6 on the shot clock. Jordan open with 5 left. Michael misses. He's 0 for 2 early in this game. New shot clock for Chicago. Back inside to Michael. Fakes the pass. Illegal defense called against Orlando.
Violation of warning. The Bulls receive a new 24-second clock.
The illegal defense called on Shaquille O'Neal. Brian Hill, who's under a lot of pressure. With all the talent he has, everybody expects nothing less than a championship from him. Longley kept it alive. Punched away by Pippen. Kukoc controlling. He finds Pippen. Jordan. Not again. No question. He looks more like he looked in the Indiana game that NBC telecast last week than he does against Boston. And that's because he's here in this new building, and he's already said, I am not a fan of the United Center yet. I love Chicago Stadium.
Well, I think it's important for him to try to get an easy one or maybe get to the free throw line. There's BJ spotting up for the three, so he's got 2 3-pointers. But Bob, as I'd said on an opening. Michael Jordan is a human being. He knows all the hype. I mean, this city is waiting for him to take him to another championship. I can't imagine the thoughts that were roaming through his head today as he was getting ready to come to this building and play this game tonight.
Chicago's regained the lead, 11-10. Hardaway double-teamed. Anderson open. He has two. Make it three three-pointers for Nick Anderson. 13-11 Orlando. 7:19 to go in the first quarter.
Orlando's in a very good rhythm, and you can see that when Chicago double teams, the spacing is there, and Nick Anderson is giving him an opening to find him for that open three.
As Nick told me, he says, hey, I'm home too. Jordan, double team, finds Kukoc. This is from long range. Horace Grant to Anthony Hardaway.
Boy, Anthony Hardaway has become a sensational young player, Bob. His game has been elevated so quickly in such a short period of time.
The double team on Shaquille. He tried to hit Donald Royal. 4-on-1. Kukoc from B.J. Armstrong will lay it in over Nick Anderson. It's tied at 13. Michael Jordan 0 for 3. Hasn't scratched yet, in case you're tuning in late. And if you're tuning in late, you must have been at a wedding or a bar mitzvah or something very important. Horace Grant. That's a 2.
That's a big shot, too. Horace buries his first shot. You hear the boos. But you know what? Those are really boos out of respect because they understand that without Horace Grant, they would not have won the 3 championships. So this is almost like what I used to say about Pete Rose when he would go on the road and he would get the boos. They booed him because they respected his talent. And that's what you're seeing these Chicago people do here tonight.
I make my rules.
Some say he was the most dangerous man in America.
I am the Constitution.
John Goodman is Kingfish.
Tonight, after Michael Jordan takes on the Magic on TNT.
So, Greg, what you're saying is the slower I go in this all-new Eagle Talon, the easier it is to steer.
And the faster we go, the tighter and more precise the steering becomes.
Exactly. Hence the name speed-sensitive steering. Okay. Give it a shot.
Hey, I'm trying.
So what do you think?
Woo! Eagle Talon speed-sensitive steering is great.
Thanks much.
You want to go cruising? Yeah, you want to go cruising?
Shoot some pool, maybe?
I got something to tell you. This is my last chase. I'm quitting the force.
Early retirement?
Ah, I'm gonna try out for the NBA.
What?
Yeah, the NBA. I'm big, I box out well, and I never lost at the video game.
Start with the video game. Work on the fadeaway.
You guys want a donut?
Thanks, man.
I love this stuff.
Sunday, it's Hollywood's ultimate prize.
When you win an Oscar, you made it.
But does it take more than a winning performance to grab Hollywood gold? CNN presents Sunday, 9 Eastern.
Well, the Magic are off to a good start. They lead 15-13 with 6:13 remaining in the first quarter. We'll take a look at Michael Jordan's first shot. And, Bob, you can see sort of straight arms it a little bit. Doesn't have the good smooth release. Front rim normally means you didn't get your legs. It wasn't a real aggressive shot. And, again, Michael feeling himself along. I'd said before, I think it's important for Nick Anderson to keep him involved defensively. Nick has done that as Michael has roamed. He spotted up and hit 3 threes. And on the other end, I think it's important for Michael to maybe get to the free throw line or maybe get a layup just to get himself in the rhythm.
I remember something you said as a coach. Watch out when Michael gets lathered because he gets hot, too. He came out with some sweat streaming off his head. 1-on-1. Blows by Royal. Pulls up. He's fouled. Will go to the free throw line. Donald Royal with the foul.
See, that's important because now when you go to the free throw line, you have a chance to get a rhythm, step up the line, make a couple free throws, and you get that stroke. You get that good feeling. Michael with the quick first step. He wants to go baseline. You can see that quick burst. Donald Royal gets the hand in there. Michael wanted to go for that patented bank shot, just shot it a little bit short, and also a little bit short on the free throw.
A great free throw shooter, particularly in the clutch, is Michael Jordan. 80% plus for his career.
Well, on the season, he was 13 out of 14, and there is his first point in the United Center.
The back end of a free throw, that's going to be a trivia question.
You say, what kind of dunk did Michael Jordan do to get his first points in the United Center?
How about this? I counted. It took Michael Jordan 38 shot attempts before he got his first dunk coming back anyway. 38 shot attempts.
There's Nick Anderson once again spotting up, and he is in rhythm and on fire. That's 4 for 4 from the three-point line for Nick Anderson.
Doug, you pointed out early, it's a 4-point Orlando lead, that he would have to keep Jordan tied up on Jordan's defensive end. Well, he's done that. Pippen jumper.
Michael loves to roam defensively. The Bulls are showing a little bit up court pressure, and if Orlando's able to break it, they're going to get some open shots. So he's going to get another one right here because they broke the press.
Oh, that would have been 5. Too many. Jordan with the rebound. Bulls have the numbers.
Back to him, BJ. Back to him.
That would have been the time.
Looked like he could have dropped that off. Maybe Michael could have got a dunk. See, if I'm playing with Michael right now, I don't go out of my way to get him a shot. But if I can get him off, I'd really like to be able to do that.
BJ, 4 out of 4, 10 points in this game already. It's tied at 18. 5 minutes in the first quarter. Shaquille O'Neal lays it in. The lead back to Orlando. Shaquille has 6 points. He's carrying 1 foul. Jordan hits the jumper from the left side. His first jump shot in the United Center with 4 minutes, 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's 3 points now for Jordan.
I think it always happens. You get a chance to get to the free throw line. You just get that feeling back in your shot. Michael made the free throw and follows it up with a jumper.
Anderson for 14. Nick Anderson has just lit it up here tonight. Already 14 points in 7.5 minutes.
And I like their strategy. Go at Michael. Make him play both ends. Indiana did that with Reggie Miller. He had a big first game with 28 points.
Kukoc one-on-one against Horace Grant. Hands it off to Luke Longley with a reverse. Luke with some pretty good moves inside.
Very strong. Last year played very well in the playoffs. Bobby had a broken leg. He was out almost 2 months. He really now is just starting to get back his legs.
Bad pass from Horace Grant to Shaquille. Shaquille handles it anyway. There's the double team.
Now this is an area that he's really improved on, is his passing out of the double teams. That was sort of an excuse me shot. I don't have anything else I can do with it.
That's right, nobody there. Kukoc all the way inside. Pippen back. Jordan! That got him on their feet at the United Center. Bulls by 2. Now Royal traveled. Jordan hits his opening jumper, and then he comes back with his first dunk.
Well, gets to the free throw line, gets himself in rhythm, buries the jump shot, nice rhythm, nice trajectory, and then Scottie Pippen did what I'd said before, gave the ball up and got Michael the slam dunk that everybody was waiting for. That's what I was talking about, getting Michael involved emotionally.
Orlando now has Tree Rollins in, and Michael Jordan has loosened up. There's the ton. With 3:11 to go.
You know what it's done also too?
In the first quarter.
It has frazzled Orlando. 2 straight turnovers. The psychological impact is amazing.
Bogey at 12 o'clock. Locked on. Bingo.
Downed any bogeys lately? The 1995 Lexus SC300. Priced to fly, whether you buy or lease. At your
local Nissan dealers are on a record-breaking pace, and they've been challenged to move their entire inventory of award-winning Nissans by April 3rd. Lease an Ultimate GXE for just $199 a month for 36 months with $19.99 down. Get 1.9 financing on all Altimas and Quests. Plus, choose financing with 0 down and no payments for 90 days on all of the award-winning Nissans. Lease the all-new Maxima for just $299 a month for 36 months with $1,500 down. The challenge is on now through April 3rd at your nearest Nissan dealer.
Union Federal is currently looking for people to participate in the Great Checking Experiment to determine whether customers prefer checking accounts with a monthly service charge or checking accounts with no monthly service charge. If you're interested in participating in the Great Checking Experiment and receiving a checking account with no monthly service charge for 2 years, you may enroll at any Union Federal branch between now and April 30th.
Who would rather pay a monthly service charge?
That's what we're going to find out.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
The Bulls up by 4 now on a 10-4 Chicago run. You're talking about Michael Jordan giving up 14 points to Anderson early.
Well, you know, see, you see Michael go at Nick Anderson, and he's standing up straight, and his next reaction is he has to bend over, and when he does, he gives Nick Anderson this driving lane. In fairness to Michael Jordan, when you're away from the game for 17 months, I don't care if you've been playing baseball or what, you've not been playing the kind of sport that you need this kind of energy to play. His defense is going to suffer a little bit right now until he gets himself where he can play both ends of the floor the way he did once before.
By the way, we'll be following the Michael Show into New York City on Tuesday night, 8 Eastern time on TNT. Hubie Brown will join me for that game, 8 o'clock Eastern, Madison Square Garden. And Doug, that'll be another madhouse.
Well, it's going to be that way wherever Michael goes the rest of the year into the playoffs. Be aware now, Michael's hit a couple shots. They like to reverse an alley-oop him for a dunk in many instances coming out of a timeout. So maybe the next couple times down the floor, look for that.
Pippen blows right by the defender. Lays it in easily. That was Anthony Hardaway.
Anthony Hardaway has not gotten in this game yet. He looks like he's just sort of drifting right now. There's another turnover. This time Nick Anderson picks it up, but Anthony Hardaway has got to get himself involved. He's now matched up against Michael Jordan.
10 to shoot. Horace Grant from 18. Pippen rebound. Bulls up by 6. Their biggest lead in this game. Jordan. Rollins with a rebound.
They're so concerned about Michael going around him. They're going to give him that outside jump shot.
Brian Shaw in the ball game. Horace Grant, jump hook, yes, over Tony Kukoc. Horace Grant.
It's a big night for Horace. A lot of emotion in him. He's a very emotional player. Has a tendency sometimes to get caught up in these things. He did the first time in or did not play well. His team was blown out.
Anderson on Pippen. There comes the double team. Open man. Long range. That's a 2 for Tony.
The weapons that Chicago has on the floor right now, if you look out the big, strong center and Luke Longley, look at the perimeter people. All these guys can shoot, pass, handle the basketball.
Horace Grant gives it up to Hardaway, who hits a 3 from the corner. That might help Penny get off the mark. He, by the way, is playing. You see advantage on his left hand. Dislocated his finger prior to last night's game, but did not turn the ball over. Luke Longley with a bad pass. Here comes Hardaway.
Look out. Look out.
Longley fouls him.
He is an exciting, explosive player in the open floor. His game, Bob, this year, you look at his numbers. Anthony Hardaway's 10th in steals. He's 12th in assists. He's 13 in scoring. His team has the best record in the NBA. And you just see him glide to the basket with the ease of the great players in this game. This guy has greatness written all over him over the next few years if he can stay healthy.
Still learning the point guard position and still trying to take care of the ball. Anthony turns it over 3.3 times a game. And Michael Jordan goes to the bench for a rest. Pete Myers, the man who replaced Michael in the lineup when Michael retired, comes on the floor. The Bulls leading by 2 with 1:25 to go in the first quarter.
See, the Bulls have a tremendous luxury now. They can rest Michael, bring in Pete Myers as a defensive player, and they still have offensive weapons in Kukoc and Pippen on the floor.
Bad pass, Rollins. B.J. Armstrong. Bulls by 4, 1:18 to go in the quarter. The Magic came out here looking very poised. They started getting rattled when Michael started scoring points.
Absolutely. They had 2 quick turnovers, got a little bit out of sync. All in all, you know, down only 4 right now. They've had a pretty solid first quarter.
Horace Grant. Jump hook didn't fall. He'll go to the line. And here's the bad pass from Tree Rollins and B.J. Armstrong on the run.
Well, B.J., these are the kinds of baskets you don't want a great shooter to get. B.J.'s already got 2 threes, and he's got 2 breakaway layups. So B.J.'s got 10 points in the first quarter, doing it inside and out.
Actually, as I look at it, Doug, he's because of the threes, he has 12.
Okay, 12.
And B.J. Armstrong has always been known as a very good shooter, and as a 2-guard kind of mentality, you're going to see Michael Jordan playing a lot as a point guard.
They have so
Something
many.
you came up with many years ago.
Well, they have so many different things they can do. You look at the Orlando backcourt right now, and you see Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson. If Phil Jackson wants to, he slides back, Michael back, plays point guard. He can have Pete Myers out there with him, go 2 big guards, slide Scotty into the backcourt, have Scotty, Michael, put Tony over to small forward. A lot of flexibility. He can go big, he can go small. That's what Michael and Scotty's versatility gives you.
I like the thought of that lineup playing a team like Phoenix.
Oh, boy.
A lot of points in that game. Bulls by 2. Under a minute to go. First quarter. Jordan on the bench. Luke Longley. Pass inside. Kukoc is fouled as he slams into the very big chest of Tree Rollins. But Scott got him early. Dennis Scott.
See, Orlando would like to string out that screen and roll, make the player go east and west, but Scotty too quick for Tree Rollins. Got the quick pass to Luke Longley and caught him in the rotations.
Armstrong defended by Hardaway. Gets past him on the dribble inside the Longley. Lost the handle. Out of bounds. Horace Grant stepped on the line. Chicago ball. 37.6 to go. First quarter. 12 on the shot clock.
See if the Bulls try to get a quick shot out of this and go 2 for 1. They can get 2 possessions for 1. So look to see if get a quick one. Scotty may be stepping right back in after he throws the ball in bounds.
Looked for Kukoc, didn't get him. Then found his second option. B.J. Armstrong, he missed, and Shaw comes down to the rebound.
That's a good shot, though. They got the shot they wanted. It was a good one for B.J. Now they're going to get the last possession of the quarter.
And a chance to tie. And for Orlando, with the Bulls scoring 32, which is a lot of points in the first quarter, Orlando hanging right in here. Remember, the Magic average is 111 a game. Hardaway from 25 feet. Longley tipped away by Rollins. It'll be Chicago ball. 9.1 in the quarter.
Well, Steve Kerr will come in now. Phil Jackson will spread the floor. They'll probably keep B.J. out there. I imagine they'll take out Luke Longley, one of the big players, go 4 3-point shooters, let Scotty penetrate. If no one helps, take it to the basket. If they do, kick out to one of the 3-point shooters.
Steve Kerr, I'm going to laugh about this. He said, I came to play to the Bulls to play with Michael. He retires. He said, I can't wait till the first time I'm in the ball game on the floor with Michael. Guess who's not in the ball game?
Yeah, I know, and this is a guy who's going to be the beneficiary, a lot like John Paxson was in the championship days, where you float on the perimeter out of the double teams on Scotty and Michael. You find the open spot and you bury the shot. He's the second best 3-point shooter in the league.
Pippen. Double clutches.
Oh, that's a bad foul by Tony. .4. They're over the limit, so Horace Grant will shoot 2 free throws. So in sitting to get the last shot of the quarter, you foul, and now you put Horace Grant on the free throw line. That is not a good play.
And that's the second personal foul in this quarter on Tony Kukoc. Remember, he's out of position. He's the man who plays power forward at the beginning of the games. And Phil Jackson said he'll be using Bill Wennington a little bit at power forward, and of course Corey Blunt. And those are really the 3 power forwards. And Krzysztofiak is back, but he's not quite healed up from his injury.
Well, I think that Tony right now initially will be the guy who will suffer most from Michael's return, because Michael will have the ball. And Tony's used to either he or Scotty having it now in this offense. So he's going to be the third option. Tony's going to have to pick and choose a little bit more within the offense.
0.4 of a second remaining in the quarter. A chance for the Magic to get out of here on the Michael returns to Sweet Home Chicago opening quarter, tied at 32. Horace Grant, 8 points in the quarter. That's the end of the first. But the man has not been Michael. It's been B.J. Armstrong. 12 points, including 2 threes. Michael Jordan has 7 points in the first quarter.
On TNT Saturday Nitro, UFOs, they're already here from another world. They're watching us. Watch 4 movies that ask, are we ever really alone? Starting with Secrets of the Bermuda Triangle, all night tomorrow.
Tuesday night NBA scouting report. There's only one thing that can make a New York-Chicago rivalry even hotter. Michael's back in the Big Apple. Bulls Knicks. Tuesday night at 8 on TNT.
You're here with Bobito the Barber, Dream Hampton, and Penny Hardaway.
What's up?
Hey.
Is that Anthony for real?
Oh, yeah.
I know right now you're the best player in the NBA, and you got to admit it. Admit it. Go ahead, admit it.
No, I can't admit that. I mean, how do you handle that?
It makes you feel like you're well respected, and everybody just respects your game, and that's something that's where I want to be.
Good luck to you, because, you know, we're New York, and you're going to need it.
Would you ever win a couple championships and retire early on us?
Yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going into hockey.
I told you to stay out of the kitchen!
Isn't it strange that people spend 5 days a week trapped inside an office, only to spend their weekends trapped inside a fence? Presenting the 1995 175 horsepower rodeo. It can take you where you won't feel boxed in. Isuzu, practically amazing. See your local Isuzu dealer to check out the rodeo lease.
Bob, Neal, Doug, and Collins back with you at the United Center. The Magic and the Bulls tied at 32. Michael Jordan spent the final couple of minutes of that quarter on the bench. Craig Sager's over by the Chicago bench. Craig, did you get any information from Michael?
Well, Bob, you know, this love affair the city has for Chicago is sincerely reciprocal. As we mentioned, as he walked in, he said he was a little bit nervous. As he came off the bench, I overheard his teammates say to him, "What's wrong, Mike? Are you nervous?" And he smiled and he says, "Yes, it really got to me. It really did." And he started smiling. And as Doug Collins said, I think he's back in the groove now. Bob?
Michael Jordan is probably tired of seeing Craig Sager. Craig has been with him in his hip pocket since he returned to the NBA last week. So Michael Jordan, 3 for 7 in the first quarter, 7 points. And the Bulls and the Magic are tied at 32. Some substitutions on the floor. First of all, Dennis Scott, Anthony Bowie, and Jeff Turner join Shaquille O'Neal for Orlando. Luke Longley from Michael Jordan. That's the third assist tonight for Michael.
Now, Bulls have gone big in the backcourt, so you got Michael and you got Pete Myers. So you've gone to a bigger backcourt to match the backcourt of the Orlando Magic. Brian Shaw at 6'6", Anthony Bowie at 6'6". This is the flexibility.
And Corey Blunt in at power forward.
Jeff Turner now will shoot the jump shot. If they switch it, they got to rotate to him quickly.
Excellent shooter from that area, too, and they did rotate to him quickly. 4 on the shot clock. It's blocked by Corey Blunt. Chicago ball.
They did not run that screen row well, and Chicago defended it very well. With Jeff Turner, he's got to set the good screen, get himself open, we get those feet set. He's not a guy that will put the ball on the floor.
Can Corey Blunt be the answer at power forward for Chicago?
I think that remains to be seen. I think that he has some ability, but I think he has to be more consistent.
Michael Jordan, one-on-one, open man, Pete Myers, out to Pippen, 7 on the shot clock, 5, who bails him out, 4, 3, Pippen bails him out. Many people think Scottie Pippen, who's having a career year anyway, will play even better with Michael back.
Well, I've always said that Scottie was a great Tonto and Michael was a great Lone Ranger, so I think that they're back in the saddle right now once again with each other.
I always said he was a great Bob Neal to Doug Collins.
Oh, Jeff Turner with the air ball.
Wow. Chicago ball on the violation, 36-32. 10:37 to go, first half. Michael Jordan's homecoming from the United Center. Jordan has 7 points thus far, came out very nervous.
Watch Michael now. He's sneaking around there like he wants to reverse for a lob. He's in that wing area. You'll be surprised to see him get an alley-oop from Pippen here in the next couple possessions.
Brian Shaw trying to play Jordan. The penetration, the kick out to Pete Myers from long range. Rebound, Shaquille O'Neal.
Remember, if that's Steve Kerr or B.J. Armstrong, that's probably going to be a three-point shot that's going to be knocked in.
Brian Shaw with the penetration. The runner won't fall. Longley kept it alive. Shaquille came away with it and draws the foul. Bulls by 4, 10:04 to go, first half.
You think the referees are having a hard time saying number 45? It's like it's automatically 23, but very seldom did they call those fouls on Michael. So we saw in Boston the other night, he got 3 fouls in about the first 6 minutes of the ball game.
That's his first in this game. Shaquille O'Neal, the 56% free throw shooter at the line. He shoots 58% from the floor, 56 from the line. And by the way, don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll select the Budweiser player of the game. By the way, speaking of Michael and number 45, do you know that he wore that number in junior high school?
You know how people's minds work when they don't have anything to do except sit around. They said the reason he's wearing 45 is because the next 2 championships they win are 4 and 5, and he just wanted to have that on his uniform. I mean, I've heard it all.
I like that. Shaquille O'Neal with the rebound. 7 for the SHAQ. 3-point Bulls lead. Dennis Scott, the rainbow will drop out of bounds off the hands of number 45. I think it's the logarithms. Here's how you figure this. 2 times 3, then you divide by the square root, and if you get that, you get 45. If you cut that in half, it comes back to 23. It's a logarithm thing, though.
Way over my head.
Dennis Scott.
Dennis Scott has been in a shooting slump. He was 6 of his last 34 from 3. Then he had a good ball game, 5 for 9. The game we did against Phoenix last night, 2 for 9. Missed his first 7 shots. He's come out and missed his first 2 shots tonight.
Jordan.
Flat, front rim. You can see it. The leg's not quite into his shot. And you know what? People are going to make Michael consistently make that shot until they really get up and challenge him, because you don't want him breaking your defense down. You'd much rather live with him shooting the outside jumper and getting your entire front line in foul trouble. And you saw what happened when we got everybody involved. Orlando got frazzled.
Jordan now 3 of 9. Corey Blunt posted against Jeff Turner. Luke Longley in the paint, back to Blunt. Corey Blunt with a 14-footer. Nice soft touch from the youngster from Cincinnati.
And Corey Blunt will rebound, play defense, be active, get to the offensive boards. He can be a real live body for this team and really energize them, give them a lot of help. But again, Bob, must be consistent.
Inside to Jeff Turner. He draws the foul. 5-point. Chicago lead with 8:45 to go in the first half.
Personal foul, Luke Longley, his second, the team's second.
Well, they've had the eyes of Mike Singletary. We saw it through many years of the Chicago Bears. These are the eyes of Michael Jordan tracking Brian Shaw. And you know what? Even if his legs weren't in shape, those eyes would scare you into trying to do something and say, here, you take it.
That's exactly what Brian said. As he said, Mama didn't raise no fool. Will Purdue's about to check back into the ball game for Luke Longley, who just picked up his second personal foul. Jeff Turner, if you discount the 17 years experience of Tree Rollins, who's also an assistant coach for Orlando, Jeff Turner has the most experience on this Orlando team, followed next by Horace Grant. After that, it's everybody 6 years or less.
Well, Jeff Turner really had a terrible leg injury last year. They missed him in the playoffs, and I thought he could really help them in the early rounds with his shooting. See, Michael, they're going to make him shoot jump shots. They do not want to let him get in the paint.
Over Shaquille, he misses. Corey Blunt rebounding, has it stripped. Dennis Scott with the ball for the Magic. A chance to pull to within 1 or tie. This will tie it if it falls. Pete Myers is fouled by Brian Shaw.
Brian Shaw has really struggled with his shooting on the year. He's at 38%, shooting the 3-pointers at under 26%. So if he's not going to be able to make that shot, he's going to have to try to get people to honor him enough to where he can create and penetrate, because they're going to double team SHAQ and they're going to force him to kick that ball out.
Well, if he wants to learn something about threes, he can learn it from the man handling the ball right now. Kerr in for Scottie Pippen. Steve Kerr is the #1 3-point shooter in the NBA. Matter of fact, he's second behind Detlef Schrempf at 50%. Pete Myers. Nice hesitation. Hand off to Purdue. Jordan. Off the rim, too hard. Purdue back with the rebound.
Remember I talked about Will Purdue's very active. Shaquille didn't step back and get his body on him, and Will Purdue will hurt you on the offensive boards. He's the team's best offensive rebounder.
Bulls up by 5. Their biggest lead so far has been 6. Shaquille against Will Purdue. There's the double team. Corey Blunt breaking it up. 4 to shoot. Donald Royal, that's a 2. He stepped on the line. Excuse me, Anthony Bowie with a 2 stepping on the line. Donald Royal wouldn't want the criticism.
But he'd take that jump shot.
Yes, he would. Anthony Bowie, excellent defender on Steve Kerr. Dennis Scott on Myers. Purdue inside. Look how much bigger Shaquille is than Purdue, who's a 7-footer. 4 to shoot. Left-handed hook shot. Purdue goes after it and jams it.
Offensive rebound. You've got to block Will Perdue out, and SHAQ stopped playing. You know what happens in many instances? Your top centers don't respect Will Perdue as an offensive player. Pretty soon you look up, he's got 8 or 9 points and 7 or 8 rebounds.
5 points and 3 rebounds now in about 4 minutes of play.
That's what I'm talking about. You got to respect him. You can't let him beat you inside.
Shaquille Answers is fouled hard by Perdue, but he missed the lay-in. Let's take a look at the Will Perdue human highlight film.
All right, when he shoots the ball, watch what happens. When he comes down, his feet keep moving, and SHAQ stops. When a guy takes that shot, you've got to turn, bump him, put your body in, and then pursue the ball.
The Hawks meet the Warriors Thursday night at 8 Eastern, only on TBS.
Football can be exciting, but truck football, now that's a rush. So if you're going to tackle it, you better get a hold of the right equipment. A 1995 Ford Ranger 4x4.
Red 39!
Complete with switch-on 4-wheel drive, new 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a whopping 4-liter V6. So get a Ford Ranger 4x4 and play truck football.
How am I gonna...
Now is your chance to save big. Madden Furniture, one of the finest names in furniture since 1881, is holding a complete showroom liquidation. Save 30 to 70% off every item in stock. And through Sunday only, take an additional 10% off our already drastically reduced prices. Plus, enjoy 12 months interest-free. That's no interest for a full year. But you've got to get to Madden Furniture before this Sunday. Everything must be sold. Plus, save an additional 10%. You've got to see it to believe it. Madden Furniture, 1600 North Sherman Drive in Indianapolis.
Now, back by popular demand, but only till Monday night. It's the used car acquisition sale at Ray Skillman Olds GMC Truck Mitsubishi and Ray Skillman Ford. Due to special arrangements, make the buy of a lifetime. You pay a $37 acquisition fee and take over the payments on one of over 600 used vehicles. This is not a lease. Yes, a $37 acquisition fee. Hurry, this sale ends Monday night at Ray Skillman Olds GMC Truck Mitsubishi and Ray Skillman Ford at the giant used car lot a half-mile north of the Greenwood Park Mall on US Highway 31 South.
Just ask that fellow. Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, Penny Hardaway, Scottie Pippen. It's just another game. By the way, right after tonight's NBA game, it'll be the story of Louisiana Senator Huey P. Long, where the rise to power could only be stopped by a bullet. John Goodman stars in the TNT original Kingfish. That's tonight following the NBA on TNT. Some other scores around the NBA tonight. There are 8 other games going on in the league. Boston way out in front of Philadelphia. Miami having their way with Golden State. Atlanta trailing Cleveland at Cleveland. Atlanta plays Chicago at home in Atlanta tomorrow. San Antonio out in front of Minnesota. San Antonio, one of the top contenders in the West.
I bet you Atlanta's happy that Michael's coming tomorrow. The Omni will finally sell out. All those empty seats will finally have people sitting in them.
They sold 1,000 tickets at the at the Omni the day the rumors started that Michael would come back.
Well, SHAQ is really struggling at the free throw line tonight. You know, what's really hurt Orlando, they are down now 4 points in this game, but offensive rebounds 5 apiece, but Chicago has 9 points, so they have converted Orlando only 1 point off second shots.
Chicago by 4. Shaquille is 2 of 6 from the line. Michael with the double clutch.
Michael thought he got fouled there, was very upset that he didn't get the call, and here comes Nick Anderson back down the floor.
Shaquille gets the loose ball, jams it in with both hands. It is a 2-point Chicago lead, 6:24 remaining in the first half. The homecoming of Michael Jordan. Michael missed his first 3, then hit 3, has now missed his last 5 shots.
So Michael does not want to have to continue to take these kind of buzzer-beating shots.
4 to shoot. Pete Myers steps in, throws up the air ball.
They're ending up with the wrong guy having it at the shot clock right now. Pete Myers had to take a couple shots.
Chance for the Magic to tie. Remember, Orlando has won 50 games already this year. They're the best in the East. Shaquille kicks it out. Nick Anderson.
Now, is this Nick Anderson's homecoming, or is this Michael Jordan's? That's 5 threes in the game. What is that, 17 points for Nick Anderson?
Exactly, and 5 of 6 from three-point land. What a game he's having, and the Magic have regained the lead by 1. Myers, it was tipped by Shaquille O'Neal, obviously on the way up. The Bulls about to put some more firepower in the bodies of Pippen and Kukoc back into this game. Speaking of firepower, Dennis Scott hands it off. Horace Grant doing what he does best.
Second shots now. I just pointed out the statistic. It was 9-1 Chicago. The last 2 possessions, Orlando has scored off second shot opportunities.
Up by 3. 5 minutes to go in the half. Kerr launches a quick one over Hardaway. Loose ball foul is going to be called on Chicago.
Loose ball foul, Corey Blunt.
It's on Corey Blunt. And now Kukoc and Pippen are back in. Blunt and Myers will sit down. So the Bulls will have Kerr, Jordan, Pippen with Kukoc and Perdue. A little more firepower as they trail by 3 with 4:56 to go in the first half.
You know, the guy who's had the terrific first quarter was B.J. Armstrong, 5 for 6 in the first quarter for 12 points. And he's been on the bench. And during that period of time, the Bulls have really gone cold.
B.J. hasn't even had a shot in this quarter. Jordan deflected that Nick Anderson pass. Hardaway. They get it over to Anderson from the corner. Jordan with the rebound. That's his 4th rebound, by the way. 3 assists to Kukoc off the break from Pippen.
So you got Michael rebounding, and he kicks it out to Scottie Pippen, who pushes it up. And Tony Kukoc finishes, and here's a steal by Michael.
Jordan's going to go all the way. Michael Jordan's restaurant. I think everybody should get one on the house after the
I was getting ready to say that.
Bulls back in front, 46-35.
Post up to Anthony Hardaway, gets Kerr. Kerr does a nice job knocking it away, but gets called with a foul.
Michael Jordan now with 9 points. And we saw a glimpse of Air Jordan Part 2.
Well, Michael is about 3 weeks away from this being the signature slam dunk. Not quite yet to really elevate and throw it down, but gets to the front of the rim and drops it in. Again, about playoff time, that will be a slam dunk. And you know, the interesting thing there is Orlando's done a great job. Michael only has 9 points on 13 shots. Anytime you can keep his field goal efficiency below 1, and what I mean by that, where you make him take a shot for every point that he scores, you've done a good job.
Jordan has taken 13 shots, has 9 points. Magic by 1, under 4 minutes to go. First half, the homecoming at the United Center in Chicago. Pippen on the baseline drive, turns it over. Orlando with the numbers. They didn't do that very pretty.
That was not what you would draw up on the fast break. Penny Hardaway giving it to Shaquille O'Neal.
Michael Pippen, lob, jam!
You know, we're having a terrific game here tonight, Bob. A lot of times the hype does not meet the game. This is a great game.
Jordan 4 assists, Pippen 8 points. Bulls back by 1. 5 on the shot clock. Hosting Hardaway. Double team with 3. Inside to Horace Grant. Nice delivery from Anthony Hardaway.
And recognition of how much time was on the clock so he could make the extra pass.
Kukoc bounces to Pippen. Jump hook. You know, you tend to forget about Scottie Pippen because Michael's back, and of course Pippen is just pouring them in this year anyway.
You know, and I think that's great for Scottie too. It's going to give him a chance to relax and get away from all the controversy that he's gone through this season with all the trade rumors and everything that happened.
Good interior passing by the Magic, and Orlando regains the lead, 51-50. Scottie Pippen averaging 21.9. That's nearly 22 a game. He's 10th in the league in scoring as it is.
Bob, what really hurt Chicago with this lineup is Tony Kukoc's really not a rebounder, and that's his instincts aren't to go to the boards and bang. And second shots will hurt Chicago in the paint.
There's Jordan. It's blocked by Anderson, and they come away with the ball, and Michael goes to the seat of his pants. That'll bring some humility to anybody. The block on Will Perdue. Watch it. This could be a T. He needs to be careful. 3 personals on Perdue as Michael waves him away. Timeout on the floor, Doug, as you take us through this.
Well, let's see if Will gets there. You know what? Will was there, but his arms went down. Had he kept his hands up, he would have got the call. When he brought him down, that's what the official saw.
The 3 contestants you see on the court will race around.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Let's take a look at Michael Jordan here. This is Michael Jordan Part 2 on the break. Scottie Pippen, tongue hanging out, excitement in the crowd, but you can tell that Michael's not all the way back.
Well, let me show you what he likes to do. He loves to post, and he loves to be able to create space by leaning back. See, he leans back, and he tries to create space right there. Then he uses his jumping ability in rhythm to fade and get the jump shot. Nick Anderson goes up and gets a piece of it. Dee Brown did the same thing the other night in Boston, and what Michael has done right now is he's going to have to get that guy off balance as he starts to make that shot. Again, Bob, it's really phenomenal the way this guy has been able to play. I mean, I think that we just think the guy's going to run back and play basketball, and he is, and he does it at such a great level. But it's going to take him a while. I mean, there's going to be ups and downs for Michael Jordan. It's not going to be all smooth sailing.
As you saw, Will Perdue on the bench. He picked up 3 fouls, drew a technical for arguing with the referee. Anthony Hardaway shot the technical. Now, after the foul, Donald Royal at the free throw line. And don't forget, our colleagues, our esteemed erstwhile colleagues at NBC, will have the Orlando Magic on the air at noon Eastern on Sunday versus Golden State.
You think Matt Lucas has that in his contract that he does not have to travel this weekend? Have to get on Matty for that.
Former coach of the Orlando Magic, and now the Doug Collins of NBC. Steve Kerr from the corner. Magic by 1. Under 2 minutes to go, first half. Double team on SHAQ. Open man Donald Royal lost the handle. 4 to shoot. Jump 3, 2. Shaquille, the fadeaway on the baseline. Or was that Hakeem Olajuwon?
Well, I will tell you this. Shaquille O'Neal could not make that shot last year. He's added that to his repertoire, and he beats the clock, makes a big basket.
Orlando by 3. Pippen left alone. Stripped it away from Horace Grant, who knocked it out of bounds. No, they say off Pippen. It's a magic ball.
Scottie was standing out of bounds when he reached in and hit the ball from Horace Grant. So that what the call was. It was a clean play, but Scottie was standing out of bounds when it happened. Watch where Scottie Pippen is. Right there. See where his foot is? At that point in time, he's out of bounds. So he cannot come back into play and get the ball.
When you grow up, you should be a coach or do something full-time in basketball. 55-52 Orlando. 10 on the shot clock. 7 into Shaquille. 4. There it is again. Not this time. Pippen kept it alive, knocked out of bounds by Horace Grant. 52.6 to go in the half. Orlando by 3 coming up. The Reebok halftime report. Doug and I will have a first half analysis of Jordan. Plus Ernie Johnson, who's here with us in the United Center, has scoreline highlight from around the league, including the Rockets Suns, another big one tonight. Coming up on the Reebok halftime report. Kukoc in trouble in the paint. Pippen left alone. Shaquille blocked it, no whistle. Kerr comes away with it. Bulls have all the numbers. Kerr, 3! That's a 2. He stepped on the line. That's a 2. It's 55-54 Orlando.
Well, Steve Kerr's really upset at himself. Three-point shooters always know where that line is, and the worst shot in basketball is when your toes are on that line.
Time remaining in the half at the lower right of your screen. Orlando up by 1 and played very well among all the hoopla here at the United Center. Hardaway, magical move down the middle.
Got wings in his feet.
Orlando by 3, 4 seconds. Jordan has it stripped, has to throw up the prayer. It doesn't fall, would have been a 3. And at the end of the half, Orlando leads it by 3, 57-54. Nick Anderson, a Chicago youngster who played at Simeon High School here, 17 points, including 5 triples. And before we take our break for the Reebok halftime report, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Bob, it was a series late in the second quarter there where Michael Jordan had the rebound, the steal, and then that big assist to Scottie Pippen that drew the biggest response from the Bulls bench. I heard B.J. Armstrong talking to Ron Harper, and they said the instincts are there. Doug Collins mentioned the pregame show that in Indiana at times maybe he was reacting, had some bad decisions. As for his poor shooting there, they said that doesn't matter. He's getting the shot attempts, and they'll start falling.
All right, thank you, Craig. Michael Jordan in the first half has 4 for 15 for 9 points. Reebok halftime report after this. Orlando by 3. Michael Jordan with 9 in the first half. Let's go to Nicole Watson.
Well, Bob, while there's so much talk about Michael Jordan coming back, it's a homecoming of sorts for Nick Anderson as well. Again, he is also a Chicago native, and tonight he's requested 30 tickets for his family and his friends. Now, Nick has rewarded them with 17 points and 1 hellacious block on MJ.
Thanks, Nicole. There's Nick Anderson, Simeon High School here in Chicago, University of Illinois. There's the game summary. You see him, 17 points, 5 3-pointers for Nick Anderson. Jordan 9, only 4 of 15. And we are underway with the second half. Bulls down by 3.
B.J. Armstrong back in the lineup after sitting out the entire second quarter. Let's see if he maintains the hot hand. 5 for 6 in the first period.
Be tough to do that. Kukoc. Long range. See, it's a 2, and it's a 1-point Orlando lead.
See, Bob, it's going to be very difficult for Phil as he tries to get all these guys minutes and at the same time tries to get minutes, Michael heavy minutes, so that he can get him back in shape. It's going to be a juggling act right now for him and his staff.
Michael had very heavy minutes in the first half, 22. Shaquille's jump hook goes down.
See, he's really added a tremendous weapon to his game. He's got the jump hook, the fadeaway jumper. We know about the slam dunks. Everybody wants to point to is his poor free throw shooting.
O'Neal 7 of 12 from the floor, 16 points, 10, make it 11 rebounds, and very quietly, Shaquille O'Neal, I never thought I'd say that, is having a big game. Hardaway dumps it, no look, and a tremendous defensive play by Scottie Pippen. Did that ball hit the iron? They gave him a new shot clock. Now they got another one. Donald Royal has it stripped.
Loose balls going to the Magic right now. Beautiful backdoor cut, Penny Hardaway.
And how about Anderson finding him through the crowd?
Well, it's funny because at halftime I told Penny Hardaway that Memphis was beating Arkansas in the last seconds and told Brooks Thompson that Wake Forest lost to Oklahoma State. He got the biggest smile on his face.
Michael Jordan with the double clutch just through the bottom of the iron. He was a little tentative about having that thrown back in his face again.
I think that's a good call. And here's Horace Grant. Here's Michael.
With a block. Anderson sticks it in from 15. That's 2 block shots for Michael in this game. To go with 2 steals, by the way, and 5 assists and 4 rebounds. And this is the Orlando biggest lead of the game, 63 to 56. Kukoc.
Quick shots again. They're not working the offense.
Don't even see the triangle. Down to Shaquille. 3 moves stripped away nicely. Bulls come back. Michael handling. Bulls have numbers.
BJ for 3. This is what he did in the first quarter. Boom.
He still got the rhythm. Michael knew it, found him, and hit it. Remember, B.J. Armstrong did not play 1 single minute in the second quarter.
Well, that's what John Paxson and B.J. have always done with Michael Jordan. Run to the open spot, get space on the floor, and he will find you.
Michael went for the steal. Nick Anderson takes it to the hoop, run down by Scottie Pippen. Pippen on the run now, defended by his old teammate Horace Grant. B.J. Armstrong on the penetration. 5 points in 30 seconds for B.J. Armstrong. Yes, he is still hot. 63-61. The Orlando lead cut to 2. Armstrong with 17.
And he's shooting 7 for 8 from the floor. 3 for 3 from the three-point line.
That was Penny's lob to Shaquille. Somebody got a piece of it. Horace Grant fouls Michael as the Bulls had a 3-on-1 break.
Well, that was a great foul by Horace to have the presence of mind to foul to take away that easy 2 points. B.J. would have been on the receiving end of another layup.
Chance for the Bulls to tie. They were down 63-56 and scored 5 straight points thanks to B.J. Armstrong.
You can see the defense just trying to keep Michael in front of him. B.J. once again, this shot was forced.
He had to put that way over the head of Penny Hardaway. That's the arc took it too far. Here is Penny.
But Orlando's sort of building the wall there in the lane on Michael and said, look, we'll give you the over-the-top jumper. You're not going to get all the way to the hoop on us.
Shaquille, nice move inside. Horace Grant steals the offensive board from Michael Jordan, but the foul is called on Horace Grant. Loose ball, Chicago ball, a chance to tie. That's the second on Horace Grant.
Yeah, but if you're Brian Hill, you're very happy because look right now, Horace Grant right there goes up strong. But here's the foul right here. He pushes off right there with the off arm against Will Perdue. That's the offensive foul. But the problem you worry about is those second shot opportunities the Magic started cashing in on the second quarter.
Chance for the Bulls tie. Lobbed inside to Michael Jordan. Pass too late. Tipped away. Orlando back. Anderson to Hardaway. He'll hold it up and set it up.
That was a very lazy pass by Tony Kukoc. Here's Nick Anderson. He's been open all night long.
Horace Grant. O'Neal, 8 to shoot. Make it 5.
Look at this.
Oh, sweet move, rolls out of there. Pippen steals the rebound from Shaquille. Chance for the Bulls to tie once again. Jordan, left hand, it's tied. And the foul.
Horace Grant has committed 3 fouls in about the last minute and a half. Scottie Pippen with a great hustle play. He gets the ball ahead to Michael Jordan, and Michael, for the first time in the entire game, in the half-court game, gets all the way to the rim, gets the layup, and the three-point opportunity, which he cashes in on.
Michael now with 12 points in the game. An 8-0 Chicago run, thanks to B.J. Armstrong and Michael Jordan, and the Bulls regain the lead, 64-63, 7:34 to go in the third. Double team on Shaquille for Dew and Kukoc. Open man, Donald Royal. Horace Grant. Extra pass, 5 to shoot. Hardaway.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Anthony Hardaway. Show us your entire repertoire.
Dare I say, like Michael Jordan was in his younger days?
Well, I mean, he is a tremendous player.
Orlando by 1. Kukoc in the post against Horace Grant. This will be tough.
Well, Horace got to be very careful not to get his fourth. Again, he's picked up 3 in about a 2-minute period of time here. Now Michael jumps in and draws the foul.
Here's the magic of Hardaway. No pun intended. Well, yeah, actually it was intended.
Look at the crossover dribble a la Timmy Hardaway. And look at the big finish at the basket. And you know what? He's doing this against the premier defensive forward in basketball, Scottie Pippen.
Timeout, Chicago.
The NBA on TNT is brought to you by Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands. Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? Mort.
There's a place where UV rays beat down so mercilessly they're nearly twice as intense as the sun's. No, it's not some blazing spot on the equator. It's the Dutch Boy Paint Testing Facility, where we test our exterior house paints to make sure they resist fading, blistering, and peeling. It's one of over 75 tests we do to make sure that when you buy Dutch Boy, you're not just getting a paint that looks beautiful, you're getting a paint that lasts. We guarantee it. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy.
Standing 5 feet 3 inches tall, Muggsy Bogues is an inspiration to every athlete who's ever battled seemingly insurmountable odds.
Guys all over the court, and it's good. Muggsy Bogues.
But Muggsy has some heroes of his own.
Good pass.
He looks up to a special group of athletes who show their courage and determination every day.
Come see these sports heroes in the Special Olympics 1995 World Games this summer in Connecticut.
Welcome to the Air and Space Museum. Thanks to Michael Jordan, April 20th, 1986. Boston Gardens, Game 2. Michael Jordan, 63 points.
Well, you know, Spike Lee was talking at halftime about what the NBA's worried about. And this is what they're worried about. Michael having these kind of legs after playing only 18 games with injury. And he came back strong for the playoffs. Unfortunately, at that point in time, the Bulls not strong enough to be able to knock out the Celtics, but Michael was a nightmare as everybody else was tired. Can that happen once again? Can he retain his legs over the last 15 games?
You and I were there to televise that game at Cleveland, the 69 points. That came after a piece in the newspaper where Lenny Wilkins, then coaching Cleveland, said, I'm going to stay with my defensive plan. I'll just have Elo play Jordan 1-on-1 and let him get his points.
Well, let me tell you something. If I'm Craig Elo, I got 3 quick fouls, and I'm like watching that performance.
Craig Elo back off the injured list in Atlanta. He'll be trying to defend Michael tomorrow night as the Bulls head straight to Atlanta after this game. Bulls by 1.
Now, it's important if the Bulls extend their defense, Bob, that you attack the basket. Don't let them extend and get you back in a half-court game. Now the clock is winding down against you, and they force you to take a tough shot, but they never got into their offense.
Good defensive play by Kukoc, who hands it to Jordan. Missed the finger roll once again. That would have been a jam with the steal. Jordan Glass missed everything.
See, Michael's just out of sync on his finish right now, and then he tried to shoot the shot off the glass. Look at this finish by Donald Royal. Now, that's what Michael wanted to do the last time down the floor. Just couldn't get all the way to the basket with it.
You can see that the legs aren't there yet. We've pointed it out time after time. But you can also see the charisma when he touches the ball. That hasn't left.
Oh, the people, you know, you just hear him oohing and ahhing, waiting to see what's going to happen.
Purdue with a left-handed jump hook attempt. It's blocked by Shaquille O'Neal. Magic by 1.
I want to tell you, Bob, if the Magic could win this game tonight, this would be a tremendous boost for them, especially the fact that they have struggled so much on the road. And with all the hype surrounding this game.
Anderson misses in the face of Jordan. Now the Bulls on the run. They have the numbers. BJ fakes the 3. On the drive, gets the foul. Donald Royal.
Vinny Hardaway picks up the loose ball. He throws ahead to Donald Royal. This guy has one thing on his mind. I'm getting all the way to the basket. And Will Purdue has got his ground held there, but his head was under the rim. That's a good no call. You know, Bob, in the NBA, your head is under the rim, and you try to go up to deflect the shot. If your hand would get into the cylinder, that's a no call.
B.J. Armstrong at the line. He has 17, make it 18, and that's without playing 1 second in the second quarter. Our GMC truck scoreboard, Miami getting the win, as does Cleveland by a point. Again, Atlanta, the Bulls' opponent tomorrow night. Indiana beating Sacramento. Sacramento in a battle for a playoff spot with Denver for the 8th spot in the West. And San Antonio easily over Minnesota.
San Antonio is continuing to play well even without Dennis Rodman. They've won 3 big ball games in a row.
5:24 to go, third quarter. Shaquille with 6. Nice pass inside Donald Royal. He's fouled.
See, Shaquille's doing a much better job passing out of the double teams. And, Bob, we've seen him now 3 times this week on Turner. SHAQ is having great patience. He's catching the ball. He's feeling the defense. He's throwing the ball outside, and then they're throwing the ball right back into him once again and letting him attack. That's having confidence that the big man can make the right decisions against the clock.
That was the second personal foul, by the way, on Michael Jordan, who is, as he stands out here at half court watching Donald Royal shoot the free throws, if you loosen up a little bit, you'll see that he's holding those shorts in the patented "I'm tired, I'm breathing hard." Remember, he played 22 minutes in the first half.
You know what would be great is if Michael, if we had that, remember that show, Look Who's Talking or whatever, where the guy is talking about what he's feeling and you're hearing everything he's feeling, that movie or the little baby or whatever. It'd be interesting to see Michael, what he's thinking right now and hear what's going on in his head. I think that would be intriguing.
You're complex, you're deep.
Oh, it is. I think it would be interesting to find out what he's thinking right now.
5 on the shot clock. Michael driving fouled with 3 left. Let's see who got him. Remember, Horace Grant came in and picked up some quick fouls. This one's going to be on Shaquille O'Neal, his second. Shaquille sits down.
See, Michael's always thinking of a way that I can get the best of you. Now he's looking to drive more rather than settle for that outside jump shot. So when your shot's not going, get to the free throw line. Michael's just not comfortable. And we were talking to some people here who watched him shoot around today, and as he was talking, all he kept talking about, I'm not comfortable in here. I don't like shooting in this building. The rims are too tight.
He said it in the paper a couple of days ago, too. I don't like the United Center yet. I love Chicago Stadium, and it's ironic. Michael built the United Center. The steal, Jordan, look out! He's back. Three steals for Jordan in the game. Bulls by 3. Hardaway ties it.
See, that's a big time play. Michael gets a dunk. That's a crowd silencer on the road. You come back And hit him with a three.
Jordan on the drive. No look. Longley. 2 hops. They let him get away with it. And the lay-in. And the Bulls by 2. 4:07 to go, third quarter. Oh, that jam by Michael off the steal. We'll show it to you in a minute. It has the look of the statue outside. Anderson. This is from 3. He's now 5 of 7 from that area. Hardaway from the corner. No. Tree Rollins with the rebound. Michael knocks it out of bounds.
See Michael's eyes. He's reading the pass. He gets his hand out in the passing lane. Great steal. And he takes off, and it looked like his legs started to give out on him a little bit. Looked like he didn't quite get up the way he wanted to there. He was. Watch his left leg. Watch his left leg as he starts to dunk the basketball. It's like he wasn't going to do what he wanted it to do right there.
Well, you know, just for a moment, he had a flashback of catching a fly ball off the wall. It's a different kind of jump.
I would have killed to have that kind of explosion right there with my leg not going out. One of those, I would have been thrilled in my career.
All I can say to Michael is 202. Wasn't that his batting average? Pippen's second foul there. Myers in for Kukoc. And by the way, we will follow the air show into Madison Square Garden on TNT. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Bulls, Knicks. Last time Michael played there was in the playoffs in '93.
And right now, if the season ended today, that would be our first-round matchup in a best-of-5 with New York having the home court. Cleveland gets a big win tonight. Bulls trying to catch them for the 4th position. Nick Anderson misses 2 free throws. No one blocks him out.
And he got his offensive rebound.
Let's see if Orlando can cash in on it.
Hardaway defended by B.J. Armstrong. Brian Shaw finds the open man. It's Anderson, but not for long. Myers had the steal, stepped out of bounds.
That's what Pete Myers gives the team. Activity, defense. Knocks the ball away from Nick Anderson and the loose ball foul against Nick Anderson. So Pete Myers will be going to the free throw line as they're over the penalty.
Bulls up by 2, 73-71. The Bulls have committed only 2 team fouls. Michael is now going to get a rest. Well, no, he's not. He's going over to the bench to talk to the coach. I think Phil's probably saying, aren't you tired?
Michael would never admit it if he was, right? He has such tremendous pride. He's going to tell you, I feel great. And as a coach, you have to say, look, I've got to give you some rest, Michael. I would look to see Phil, maybe within the next minute and a half, get Michael out, let him get the rest of the quarter off, maybe a minute or so into the 4th, which would maybe make him miss 4 minutes of actual action to give him about a 15-minute rest so he can finish this game.
Bulls by 3, 3:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. Jordan's tired. You can see it, that he's struggling. Laboring might be a better word.
Well, when you start pulling down on your shorts, that's the first sign of it.
I pulled down on my golf shorts. Horace Grant with 4 to shoot.
Look at this.
Brian Shaw from downtown. Longley with the rebound.
Well, Bulls defense is picked up right now, forcing some tough shots by the Magic.
Bulls by 3. Pippen thought about the 3. 10 to shoot.
Where was Scotty throwing?
Scottie Pippen throws it out of bounds. We have a timeout on the floor. 2:53 to go in the 3rd.
Every Saturday night, TNT Saturday Nitro.
At GMC Truck, we built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage that also comes in this handy take-home size. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Bees. If you wanted to buy a camel for 50 smacks, where would you pick it up? Bees. Yeah, that's right.
Shouldn't you buy your tennis shoes at Spies?
Now, back by popular demand, but only till Monday night. It's the used car acquisition sale at Ray Skillman Olds GMC Truck Mitsubishi and Ray Skillman Ford. Due to special arrangements, make the buy of a lifetime. You'll pay a $37 acquisition fee and take over the payments on one of over 600
Union Federal is currently looking for people to participate in the Great Checking Experiment to determine whether customers prefer checking accounts with a monthly service charge or checking accounts with no monthly service charge. If you're interested in participating in the Great Checking Experiment and receiving a checking account with no monthly service charge for 2 years, you may enroll at any Union Federal branch between now and April 30th.
Who would rather pay a monthly service charge?
That's what we're going to find out.
The Bulls with a 3-point lead, 74-71. You're taking a look at the Bulls brothers. Takeoff on the Aykroyd and Belushi Blues brothers from Saturday Night Live. Those are the sentiments of people in Chicago. We're the luckiest people in the world. Michael Jordan on the bench right now with 15 points. And Doug, you pointed out, and we've talked about it, he had 22 minutes in the first half, gets a little bit of a rest here at this timeout with 2:53 to go. Is he going to be able to play another full quarter?
He'll be able to do it, and I think Phil will be able to use this timeout and maybe get him out here a little bit before the quarter's over to give him a chance to get some rest so he can finish this game, because they're going to look for Michael to carry this team down the stretch. Regardless of who all's been here the rest of the year or whatever, they're always going to defer to Michael at the end of the game because he demands that. I mean, even just his presence. He might not say it, but it just happens.
Somebody on TV today said it's like Beethoven coming back to write symphonies number 10 and 11. Hardaway.
What you're seeing right now is the Bulls are really picking up their defense, and they've really gotten Orlando out of sync offensively. Forced some very difficult shots. Penny Hardaway upset.
Luke Longley was the man in the middle. No foul call. Pippen, short jumper. It'll go down, and the Bulls lead by 5. And oh, by the way, Scottie Pippen has 12 points.
So look at the lineup. Scottie Pippen's the power forward right now. He's the power forward. Michael's the small forward. You've got Pete Myers, BJ. So you've really got like 4 guards on the floor.
So they go inside to Horace Grant. And look at that. BJ Armstrong with a jump ball, which may not be all that much good news, but nevertheless, he tied up Horace Grant.
It's good play by BJ to get his arms in this. Horace brings the ball down, and when you bring it down, you bring the little guys into the game. Got to keep that ball up. Now, the one thing Horace has got to find out where he wants to tip this ball. You should tip this ball right back to Shaquille O'Neal. Just tip it high right to Shaquille and let him go get it. Otherwise, Pippen will steal it.
He didn't. Pippen did, but hold it. They're going to...
That's a loose ball foul on B.J. Armstrong.
On BJ.
He jumped into him, and Mike Mathis caught it. Watch B.J. Armstrong now jump into Horace Grant.
That's the second on BJ.
A little bit of a touch foul there on BJ.
13 foul on the Bulls. Orlando already over the limit.
Orlando's got to be very careful here. They had a 7-point lead. They're now down 5, and their offense has really gotten out of sync.
Scott driving past Jordan. Loose ball. Grant missed it. Shaquille is fouled by Longley as he goes for the jam. Shaquille goes down, and he's all up.
This is what Shaquille's going to see, though, in the playoffs. There's not going to be any dunks. You're going to foul him. He leads the NBA in free throw attempts. He's attempted over 700 free throws on the year. It's a very hard foul on Shaquille O'Neal as he misses the dunk, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
He's 2 for 6 so far. Hits that with 17 points, 13 rebounds for Shaquille. You see there, he shoots 66% of all the free throws. The Magic Cupid hits only 56% of them.
Well, you know, I just went through some of Shaquille's statistics today. He's #1 in scoring, #2 in field goal percentage, #4 in rebounds, #6 in blocks, and #1 in free throw attempts. And his team has the best record in the NBA. I would think that he's a strong candidate for the most valuable player this year.
Steve Kerr is in for Michael Jordan. It's interesting. With 1:46 to go in the quarter, as you predicted, Doug, this will give Michael some rest and maybe a little bit of rest even going into the 4th quarter. 8 to shoot. Kerr now with 5. DJ a long way from the hoop. 3, 2. He gets in there closely. Tried to resolve. Draws the foul. Was he bailed out?
What a bail. You called it, Bob. BJ was hung out in the air. No place to go.
And that's 4 on Horace Grant.
And he picks them all up in this quarter. BJ was hung in the air, had no place to go. Clock winding down. He's going to try a reverse layup. And look right there at the last moment. Horace Grant comes across his right arm and draws the foul.
And it's money in the bank. B.J. Armstrong, an 87% free throw shooter, one of the best in the NBA. Horace has played hard here tonight. By the way, last night, Orlando played and beat Charlotte in Charlotte, and Orlando had 50% of their 104 points scored. 50% of those points scored by Shaquille O'Neal and Horace Grant. They pounded it inside.
Well, they're doing a good job of it tonight, too, but the Bulls have been very quick with their defense and rotating out of their double teams. And Nick Anderson has gone cold in this third quarter after they got the lead. He missed some open shots, also missed some free throws.
21 points for B.J. Armstrong. Bulls by 5. 1:20 to go in the quarter. Anthony Bowie left alone. He won't miss that one.
He's sort of an energizer for this team. He's a guy, you put him in the game, he's an excellent defender. He will up the tempo of the ball game.
Anthony Bowie out of Oklahoma, you may recall, with Longley. Armstrong, 10 on the shot clock.
Luke against Dennis Scott. Here comes the double team by Shaquille.
Waited too long inside to Pete Myers. It was blocked. Myers missed it again. Loose ball. Brian Shaw. Under a minute to go. Magic with a chance to pull to within one or tie. Shaw drives, takes the layup. Dennis Scott had posted for the three, and the Bulls very wisely, Steve Kerr stayed with him and denied that three.
Yeah, you don't want to let him get that three. He's not had a field goal yet tonight, so keep him off the books. Don't let him get hot.
Kukoc at 6'10", count the basket, goaltending Shaquille. Kukoc could have his way with Brian Shaw and his height advantage. Bulls by 3.
Shaquille comes over, gets there just a little bit too late. And once the ball has been released and out of a player's hands this long, most every time you're going to get a goaltend.
Orlando down 3. Bulls playing some good defense.
Now, Brian Shaw picked up his dribble. He should never have picked it up. Now they're trying to deny everyone else the ball.
They'll go to SHAQ. Kukoc kept it alive. Myers, nice pass. 2-on-1, 4 seconds. Kerr, Kukoc should have taken a shot. Armstrong doesn't get it. Kerr should have taken a shot.
Yeah, Steve should have taken it. He's the second best three-point shooter in the game. He's a little bit too unselfish on this play. And then BJ rims out a 2 just as the shot clock goes off the end of third quarter.
12 minutes remaining in the homecoming. A beautiful night. The skyline off Lake Michigan, the Windy City, Chicago. And Michael Jordan has even brought an early return of spring to Chicago. At least he'll get credit for it. Bulls by 3. We were talking earlier about the Eastern Conference. Orlando, the best team. And this is how they'd match up if they started today.
Well, we got some interesting matchups. We'd have this one is the real one that everybody want to see. And then you'd have these two, Charlotte and Cleveland, and Orlando and Milwaukee, and Atlanta and Indiana. So some early round matchups in the first round, and in the best of 5, anything can happen. That's not to oversimplify anything. Bob, let's talk about statistics. The Bulls have been able to take the lead in this game with points off turnovers. They have 22 points off 14 Orlando turnovers. Orlando only 1 point off 6 Chicago turnovers. Orlando winning the battle of the boards 37-26.
Into Shaquille, loose ball. Scottie Pippen gets it. 4-on-3 Bulls. Pippen, Kerr, Pippen. Bad pass, intercepted by Dennis Scott. By the way, for the first time in this game, and for a rare appearance since Michael returned, Ron Harper is on the floor with Michael Jordan. Harper running at Scott.
Well, they've
got a piece of that.
They've done a nice job, Bob, of chasing Dennis Scott off the catch and shoot. They forced him to put it on the floor, and he does not have any rhythm yet at all with his jump shot. Nick Anderson went cold in that third quarter after 6 for 9 first half. 1 for 5 field goals in that third quarter, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. They need him to get hot here in this fourth period also.
And as you had pointed out, Arkansas went into overtime with Memphis, but Arkansas gets the victory. Michael loses the ball. Brian Shaw misses. Longley rebounds. By the way, Longley was just called for committing his 4th foul. Bulls lead by 3, make it 5.
How about Arkansas, Bob? They win their first game in the tournament by 1. They win their next game on a technical foul against Syracuse in overtime. They win tonight in OT. Tough to knock out the defending champ.
10 on the shot clock. Bulls clamping down some defense. This time Hardaway finds the room in the lane, just as I say that, and lays it in from short range. It's Bulls by 3.
See, the Bulls don't have a shot blocker, so Orlando knows they can take the ball right to the front of the rim without any contesting from anybody to block their shot. Bulls play great position defense, second league in steals.
Michael spinning, whirling, dishing. Pippen fouled by Shaquille.
Now that was the magic of Michael Jordan there. 2 pirouettes, hanging in the air, finding Scottie Pippen. This is just unbelievable instincts. Watch Michael take the ball, the pirouette, goes up in the air, gets Shaq to leave his feet and finds Scottie Pippen, and then Shaq has to give the hard foul.
Shaquille's third personal, by the way. And that's what you pointed out earlier, Doug, that the Bulls have to get used to Michael making that kind of move, double clutching, maybe shooting, maybe passing.
I played with a guy like that named Julius Erving, yes, and you always had your hands in the ready position.
Or else you get a facial.
A facial.
83-79, Bulls by 4, 10-17 to go in the ball game. Inside to Shaq.
Oh, he missed an easy one.
Got his own board and back in. Shaquille O'Neal has 20 points.
That's a page from the book of Moses Malone. Miss an easy one, get it back, stick it in. You get an opportunity for the free throw, so you get a basket, an offensive rebound, and a free throw.
And Shaquille goes to the line, and Longley now has 5 personal fouls. And Bill Wennington, part of the 3-headed center system for the Bulls, comes in for his first action tonight.
Shaquille O'Neal shoots 1.
O'Neal to the free throw line. 15 boards to go with his 20 tonight.
I look for the Bulls with Bill Wennington on the floor to use him as a jump shooter against Shaquille. He poses a different problem.
Look out! Michael gets the loose ball still in the paint. He'll start it all over again. 15 on the shot clock. 8 on the shot clock.
What's an interesting group of guys that Phil has on the floor right now. Harper, Kerr, Michael, Scottie, and Bill Wennington. We're going to see some scrambled lineups over the next few weeks.
Well, there's the lob to Shaquille. Too high. He missed it. 2-point Bulls lead. Pippen. 4-3.
Scottie's really shot that shot a lot this year. That closer three-point line in transition. That's Scottie's attempted coming into tonight's game 272 three-point field goals.
Well, he's had to provide so much of the scoring function. Shaquille against Wennington. There's the double team with Harper. Back to Shaquille. Back Wennington in. Jumper, won't fall. Rebound Wennington.
So you do a good job. Keep Shaq in front of you. Make him shoot the ball over the top and not foul.
Pippen to Harper. He lost it out of bounds, but Chicago will have the ball with 17 on the shot clock. Bulls struggling with this very unusual lineup.
This group probably has never seen each other before, whether in a practice, a game. And so right now they are really scrambled because in that triangle offense, everybody's got a position, and they're talking to each other as they walk off the floor,
introducing themselves.
Bulls versus Knicks. Tuesday night at 8 on TNT.
It's time for Dutch Boy in the paint, and I find something very unusual, and that is that the Bulls have dominated points in the paint 40-28.
Well, I'll tell you what it tells me. Off those 18 rebounds from the offensive end, they're not converting. You get 18 offensive rebounds, you should have more than 28 points in the paint. And so the Bulls have been able to be more efficient in that area.
20 points for Shaquille, only 6 for Grant, and that's that inside game. You see, we told you earlier that Penny Hardaway dislocated his finger last night in the warm-ups before the Orlando game, the Orlando-Charlotte game, and he was playing with a sore left hand, and he apparently is suffering some pain now, as you see him with the ice on.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he comes back tonight. The game is a winnable game right now. Brian Hill will probably have a big decision to make.
Pippen, nice move inside, had to dish it to Wennington, who has that shot.
See, when Shaquille O'Neal tracks the shooters, Wennington's going to spot up, and if Shaquille sits out right now, whoever's matched up against Wennington, Horace Grant can't leave him and give him that kind of open look.
Sounds like a singing group. Bill Wennington and the 4 guards.
There's Nick Anderson again, 1 for 5 this half.
Pippen got a piece of that. Big rebound from Ron Harper.
This is a speed lineup Chicago has on the floor. They should try to push the tempo of this game, maybe get Kerr some open looks in the half court.
Whittington is open, has that shot again, misses it this time. Rebound, Dennis Scott. Bulls by 4, 8:11 remaining.
Well, Bill's really upset at himself. That's the shot he normally buries a lot. Now, oh, look out here if he makes that shot.
Yeah, he can get hot, Dennis Scott, from three-point land. Shot clock. Anthony Bowie handling the ball. Hardaway on the bench. Nice lob to Nick Anderson.
A nice play there. Eye contact. Bowie. Nick Anderson rolled off the fronting post move of Ron Harper and just laid the ball right in the basket.
We're checking on Anthony Hardaway, by the way. We'll give you an update in a couple of minutes on his injured left hand. Bulls by 2. Rebound. Whittington jams it home. Bulls by 4.
Fundamentals of basketball. You've got to check out. And Horace, a very good rebounder, did not get his body into Bill Whittington. Off the bench, he has 4 quick points.
Horace Grant only 6 points in this game tonight. Scott missed again from long range. Jordan knocking it out of bounds. No, it's Orlando out of bounds. Chicago ball.
Bob, Dennis Scott is very, very upset. He's 0 for 5 on the night. And what he is, with him missing, he allows the Bulls to take great chances on the defensive end.
Steve Kerr into Jordan. Back out to Whittington. He's 1 for 3 now. He's supposed to hit that jump shot. We gave him some great pub.
We're going to call him the Gatling gun here pretty soon. That's 4 shots in about a minute for Bill.
That ball was thrown away by Anthony Bowie.
Chicago ball.
Let's go to now to Nicole Watson and find out about Penny Hardaway. Nicole?
Well, Bob, after sleeping with a splint last night and icing it during the pregame as well as halftime, Penny Hardaway has not been able to ice his finger down even during the timeouts. He just hasn't had enough time. Right now, he's not tired. It doesn't really hurt. He's just finally got enough time to ice the finger, but he is squeezing it and favoring that hand.
Michael Jordan misses the jumper. Kerr knocks it out of bounds, and we can see, Nicole, thank you for that report, as we saw the camera shot of Penny Hardaway. He had the ice off, was putting the wrap back on his fingers, and looks like he may be ready to come back in the game shortly. Brian Shaw hits the 3, and we have a 1-point game. Orlando won't go away.
Now remember, I think 2 years ago, Brian Shaw had the reigning NBA record for threes in a game, 10, and that was the old three-point line, so he has that kind of range.
Illegal defense, Nicole.
I think a game against Milwaukee, when he was playing for the Miami Heat, he had 10 three-point field goals.
That's the second illegal defense. Technical foul. Steve Kerr will shoot it. Kerr, an 80% free throw shooter. And it'll be Bulls ball, up by 2, 6:07 in the game. In case you're dialing in late, number 45 is a former baseball player just signed by the Bulls after the strike, Michael Jordan. Steve Kerr misses. Pippen with a rebound.
Well, right now, the Magic getting taken advantage of inside. We talked about the points in the paint. And although that Orlando has the size and the scoring in there, once again, the Bulls have been much more efficient in their opportunities.
Timeout, Orlando.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Blazer, the only sport utility vehicle with a driver control system. It's nice to know.
Your local Nissan dealers are on a record-breaking pace, and they've been challenged to move their entire inventory of award-winning Nissans by April 3rd. Lease an Ultima GXE for just $199 a month for 36 months with $19.99 down. Get 1.9 financing on all Ultimas and Quests. Plus, choose financing with 0 down and no payments for 90 days on all of the award-winning Nissans. Lease the all-new Maxima for just $299 a month for 36 months with $1,500 down. The challenge is on now through April 3rd at your nearest Nissan dealer.
Most supermarkets receive their seafood by truck, but at Meyer, we fly it in fresh daily. swordfish from Chile, tuna from Ecuador, and halibut from Alaska. It's faster, which means the fish at Meyer are fresher. Of course, delivering them to the store is a bit tricky. A little to the left!
The Air and Space Museum, courtesy Michael Jordan, May 7, 1989. A young Chicago Bulls coach appreciated that shot.
Well, that was just a great play that I drew up there. Michael was wide open. That was a great moment. I'll always cherish that. When we beat the Cavaliers, they'd beaten us 6 straight times that season, and then Michael follows it up. But we were 0-6 that year and went in there and knocked them out in the playoffs in Game 5. And Bob, just to follow that up, I remember going on the plane over to Cleveland on that Saturday. It was the Kentucky Derby, and Silent Sunday won the Derby. And I said, that's what it's going to be tomorrow in Cleveland when we beat them. And sure enough, Michael made it happen.
I remember something he told you as you look at the game summary, something he told you on your first game, late in the game when it was close. He said, don't worry, Doug, I won't let you lose your first game. Did he not say that?
Oh, I was feverishly drawing up this play, sweating, chewing my gum. He gave me a cup of water, told me to take a drink. He wouldn't let me use my first game, and he didn't. He had 50 points.
Brian Shaw inbounding for Orlando. Bulls by 4, 5:53 remaining in the game. Each team with 3 full timeouts and a 20.
Hardaway back in. We got the starters other than Brian Shaw.
Shaquille inside, follow up by Horace Grant. You talked as we went away to the timeout about Orlando not taking advantage of the inside game.
We've got to do that, and right now Tony Kukoc has got to keep Horace Grant off the offensive backboard.
And that's tough.
He's got to put his body in it and into him and say, I'm not going to let you get there.
Michael dishing. Luke Longley kicks it out. Kukoc. Loose ball. It's hit the top of the backboard. It'll be a violation and Orlando ball.
You know, one of the things I've seen with the Bulls that Michael has come back, Tony Kukoc has become a spot-up shooter rather than a guy that creates a lot, and he's not at his best when he's a spot-up shooter. He's a creator. Tony, at best, an erratic shooter.
Exactly.
Or should I say streaky? Maybe not erratic, but streaky.
No, erratic. Chance for the Magic to tie. Remember, all conference, Illinois State, English, Doug Collins, Brian Shaw for 3.
See, when he hits those threes, remember Dennis Scott was missing those shots? Well, now you've seen Brian Shaw drill 2 of them. That changes the whole focus of your double teams.
8 points for Brian, 2 for 2 on threes, and the Magic with the lead. 4:48. Michael Jordan double clutching, throws it away. Hardaway. It's a 93-90 Orlando lead. Chicago with a timeout. I guarantee you Michael Jordan is a tired camper.
Well, Michael's very upset. He tried to get the ball to B.J. Armstrong. The ball was tipped. Nick Anderson picks it off. And there's Anthony Hardaway once again on the finish. The Magic lead by 3.
Is there such a thing as a lease that's fun? Well, if it's a lease on a 1995 two-wheel drive Isuzu Rodeo, there is. Because at just $267 a month, it makes enjoying the big-time fun of a rodeo really easy. And if you don't believe us, just look how much fun our lawyers had with it. Geez, guys, not that much fun. Ooh, come on.
Offer not valid on Mars or other non-terrestrial sites.
Sheesh. Isuzu, practically amazing.
Today's cars and trucks are more advanced than ever, but there is a price. Their harder working engines can wreak havoc on the motor oil, breaking it down almost immediately. That's why there's Castrol GTX. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, or your harder working engine could make things hard on you. Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown.
There are no medals for being the shoulder to cry on. No songs of praise for keeping traditions alive. But to the men who give their best every day, we offer our best. Gillette Sensor XL. Spring-mounted blades and microfins to set up your beard. And Gillette Series shaving gel for incredible smoothness. Sensor XL, the world's best shave. And sometimes that's its own reward. Gillette, the best a man can get.
with the Bulls down 3 during the timeout. Krzysztofiak gets 2 technicals. Larry Krzysztofiak had not played at all, and Derek Stafford called him. Craig Sager, what happened?
Well, it's that play where the ball hit the top of the backboard. The Bulls thought the ball should have remained in play. Derek Stafford said it did not. Larry Krzysztofiak questioned him about the play. Derek Stafford said, "Who made you coach?" And he said, "Hey, can't I do anything?" And he said he gave him a technical. Then he argued and gave him a technical, and he's out of the ball game. So all he did was question the call, and Derek Stafford said, "Who made you coach?"
There's our pit bull, Craig Sager. He always has the answer for us. And 2 technical free throws are hit by Anthony Hardaway. And with 4:39 left, Doug, the Bulls find themselves down to Orlando by 5.
Bob, have you noticed we've had spurts in this game? 8-0 spurt by the Bulls. Now it's 9-0 spurt by Orlando. It's been back and forth. Who's going to execute now as we enter this critical crunch time?
See if Michael has anything left. On the drive, he's fouled. Here's what Krzysztofiak was refereeing from his seat on the bench. The ball bounces up on the top of the rim, according to the officials. Top of the backboard. And it did.
See, now Michael did a smart thing there, okay? You talk about a guy being a smart player. You come out of a timeout, it's emotional. You drive to the basket, and you get the foul. And that's what Michael did.
Michael missed that first free throw. He's struggling tonight, tired. You see him one game at a time. Struggled against the Pacers. Came on fire, particularly at the opening versus the Celtics. Struggling again tonight. 18 points for Michael Jordan. And he's played almost the entire ball game. Orlando by 4.
You got to attack here. You got to attack. Make them pay for the press, and Penny misses an easy one. The Bulls extending their defense. They forced turnovers and got in the open court.
Michael one-on-one. Pull up.
Michael can't pick that up.
Nobody was there to get the pass. That's adjusting to Michael. Hardaway Grant with a jam. 97-91. Orlando by 6.
Michael very upset. You know, Michael is the all-time great escape artist. When he gets hung in the air tonight, we've seen him get caught with the basketball 2 or 3 times.
You see the Bulls out of sync, struggling here, playing tight.
We knew this was going to happen. There's going to be an adjustment period.
Shaquille with the block on Luke Longley. And Orlando by 6.
That's a big possession right here. Orlando really,
Shaquille is fouled by Luke Longley, and that'll foul him out of the game.
The Bulls' personal foul, Luke Longley is 6.
Hardaway was assessing the situation. You saw him. He looked back. He saw Horace Grant drop the ball off. Horace Grant has quietly had a terrific game. Remember now, first time in here, 32 minutes, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Tonight, Horace has been very active, emotions under control, played a very smart basketball game.
6-point Orlando lead. Longley fouls out. Whittington is in. Jordan defending Brian Shaw. Shaw gets past Jordan, but runs into double team. Steal Jordan. Behind the back, 3-on-1. Armstrong with a lay-in. Thanks to Jordan's 4th steal in this game.
Again, those turnovers really kill you. The Bulls, if they win this game, the one statistic will be turnovers and points off turnovers. 24 points tonight of Orlando's 18 turnovers.
Shaquille O'Neal makes it 99-93.
And Bob, at what point in time do you start fouling him there and making him make free throws?
How about now? Shaquille O'Neal has 22. Corey Blunt in the ball game. Michael penetrating, double clutch, draws the foul. Brian Shaw.
See, Michael still has the great ability to get to the free throw line. I mean, he's not been able to hit the shot tonight. 6 for 21.
And how much we've seen this, by the way, late in ball games during the Jordan era. Bulls get the other team into the team foul situation. Michael operates one-on-one and goes to the line. Right now, Orlando with 3 team fouls. We'll follow Michael Jordan and company. Boy, is he struggling at the line tonight. Into Madison Square Garden Tuesday night at 8 Eastern time. It'll be Jordan and the Bulls versus the Knicks. And by the way, remind you that on Sunday, NBC will have the same Orlando Magic against Golden State at noon Eastern time.
Michael 6 for the line, 6 for 11 from the line tonight. In the first 2 games of the season, he was 13 for 14. I've noticed he's been sort of fading back on his free throw, not staying on the line, getting that good follow through. His balance is bad tonight.
Some of that's mental. He said he wasn't comfortable shooting in this building inside to Shaquille O'Neal. And now it's 101-94. Orlando by 7 with 2:13 to go. Do the Bulls have it in them? Pippen misses. Blunt rebounds and is fouled by Horace Grant, and that'll be 5 on Horace.
That's only the 4th team foul, so they had it 1 to waste. Bob, Shaquille is so powerful. Look at this dunk, and guys crash into him. He doesn't even, it doesn't phase him. It didn't even knock him. The guy's in the air, doesn't even move him. I mean, the guy is 7 feet tall and weighs 315 pounds.
With what? No body fat?
Well, he can have some of mine. I can help him there. I can help him there.
Jordan missing the jumper. That's the kind of shot that would get the Bulls back in the game. Michael Jordan, let's point out one other factor here tonight. This is his 3rd game back. He's also a little tired from playing in his 3rd game. The energy at the 1st game. He had a relatively easy night in Boston, and tonight seeing some tiredness as Anderson misses the 3. That would have been a big nail. But Shaw with the offensive board, a minute 35 to go.
See, Tony Kukoc didn't block him out. He's got to go get his body on him. Horace keeps the ball alive. You've got to go get contact. This is going to give you 48 seconds on this possession. Get you down to about 1 minute and 10 seconds before you have to shoot the ball.
Well, it's a reality check for Chicago fans. Anthony Hardaway missing.
Look who's there again.
Horace Grant, he's fouled by Pippen.
Look who's there again. I just was given a statistic by our crack statistician Chuck Gardner saying Grant 12 rebounds. Well, I can scratch that and put 13. 2 big ones on this possession. He has 5 offensive rebounds in the game. And what he's done is basically seal this ball game tonight by getting extra possessions, extra shots, running time off the clock.
Something the Bulls coaches knew, something you knew, and those of us who follow the NBA considered a high possibility, and that is that Michael Jordan is not going to take this team to the promised land first 3 games back, and that's become very clear tonight. And we're seeing people leaving the United Center with 1 minute 15 to go, and the Bulls down 7. Timeout, Chicago. Minute 15 to go in this ball game. The Bulls down 7. Shaquille O'Neal has been the man for Orlando, along with Penny Hardaway and along with Horace Grant and Nick Anderson. Coming up right after this ball game, the story of Louisiana Senator Huey P. Long. John Goodman stars in the TNT original movie Kingfish, following the NBA tonight on TNT.
You know, Bob, when you look at the Orlando box score, O'Neal and Grant, 40 points between them, 19 rebounds. Penny Hardaway with 22. Nick Anderson, a big first half with 21. And Brian Shaw, 2 critical 3-pointers as his team was slipping away from it in the 4th quarter. Dennis Scott couldn't find his shot. Brian Shaw hit some big baskets. So they've made some big-time experience plays. And again, I think tonight, once this game is over, Brian Hill's going to be very, very happy that his team had to go through this tonight. Because again, to reiterate what we talked about in the opening, this is what they're going to see in the playoffs every single night.
And remember, Orlando has never won a playoff game. They were 0 for 3 last year and out of the playoffs. So this playoff atmosphere kind of game can get them back in. Do the Bulls have firepower to close this margin in these few seconds? No. Anderson blocks Winnington. So Pippen, Jordan, and Grant have been reunited here, and probably the only person happy about this reunion tonight will be Horace Grant, under 1 minute to go.
And I tell you, a guy who will not sleep tonight, knowing him the way I do, and that's Michael Jordan. And he is going to be stewing and fretting about, I want my game back tomorrow, not in the future. I want it back tomorrow. And I think, Bob, what we've seen is it is going to take him some time.
Pippen for 3, 102.97, 5-point difference, 33.6.
Now, there's still plenty of time. Orlando cannot fall asleep here and turn the basketball over, and they're going to have to convert free throws.
Bulls had the foul to give there.
Brian Shaw, a 76% free throw shooter.
Didn't they have it? Only said, no, that's the 5th. They'll be shooting it.
What do you think about Michael's night here tonight, Bob? What's your feeling as you watch this sort of unfold and being in the city the last couple days?
Well, it's a reality check for the fans and the Chicago media. This city loves to love, and they love to love Michael Jordan. And I think everybody presumed that Michael could come back. The rest of the NBA, and we're looking at one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league in Orlando here, that the rest of the NBA just wouldn't be able to deal with him. But he's 32 years old. Even though he's Michael Jordan, he cannot turn this franchise around in 3 games. And I think it's a real reality check for the fans and for the media here in Chicago and perhaps around the country.
What do you think that Michael's feeling right now, pressure-wise and all? What do you think that he's really feeling the pressure of this whole situation?
Yes, you could see it from the beginning of the game, and Doug, you know him so well from living with him and going with him. However, it'll be interesting to see if he can recover enough to throw up some big numbers tomorrow in Atlanta. Back with the final 26 seconds after this. Well, the Magic has this one in the bank. 7-point lead with 26.9 to go. The homecoming for Michael Jordan. And he proved that he is human. Still, for almost anybody in the NBA, a night of 19 points, 8 assists, 5 steals, 4 rebounds would be an excellent game. But Michael Jordan will be very disappointed, and Doug, you said it well, he won't sleep tonight.
No, he won't, and Phil won't either when he sees these numbers on the boards. One thing Phil has said is, do we have the ability to retrieve the basketball? Tonight, Orlando, 52-35, out-rebound Chicago, 22 offensive rebounds.
26.9 remaining in this game. Bulls have the ball with 26.9. Nothing short of a miracle would do it, and this is not going to be a night of miracles. As a matter of fact, it's been a night of magic.
See,
Orlando magic.
I really believe, as we see Michael take it to the basket. Oh! Now he exploded there. That was the most powerful leap Michael's had all night.
22 seconds left. Whoa, where did that come from? Hello. Alone. Horace Grant. 106.99, 17.4.
You know what? It was interesting before the game. Phil had some comments about Horace. They said, how are you going to prepare for Horace? And he goes, well, I'm not so sure Horace is going to play tonight. He's only played in one of the games against us. We're not going to prepare till we see he's going to play. Phil, Horace played tonight.
Horace played and led this Orlando Magic team to a character-building win under adverse circumstances at the United Center in Chicago, where they were blown out by 32 points the first time they played here this year. And the man who really had the sweet homecoming Chicago was Horace Grant. 19 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of 11 from the field, 7 offensive boards, and Horace Grant is our Budweiser player of the game, and here's Craig Sager.
Well, Michael, with the magnitude of the event, all the attention we received, particularly today and tonight, what did you do to try to maintain your focus?
Well, I just went through my normal game plan. I'm trying to really focus on trying to get myself back into shape and, playing shape and all around. Tonight wasn't a good offensive night for me. I just really tried to do whatever I can other ways, but I'm really, my rhythm is not really good on my offense right now, and it's going to take some time. I realize that, but when I'm on the court, I just have to do other things. Rebound, block shots, play solid defense.
It was a frustrating night at times. It didn't look like you had your jumping ability until that very end. When will you know that you are back? What will have to happen?
I feel it. Right now, I'm really trying to get myself back. That's the purpose of playing these games. I mean, these games will get me really ready down the stretch. But right now I'm really trying to push myself, especially now in the games. And certainly my productivity is not where I want it to be offensively, but I'm really trying to do whatever I can to help the team.
You said you didn't like shooting in the gym this afternoon. The rims were tight. Third quarter, you had the steal and the big jam. You tried to loosen them up a little bit?
Well, I just tried to score 2 points. Even my legs gave out on me at that particular time too. But it's going to take some time. I realize that deep down inside, my competitiveness is just come out and produce. But it's going to take some time. I realize it, but I really have to be patient with this.
Well, like a rose, Michael Jordan by any number is still Michael Jordan. Number 45, you have many good games coming back. Let's go to Nicole.
Thanks. Shaquille, how does it feel to successfully ruin Michael's homecoming?
We just came in here, you know, we just wanted to play our game. Michael is the world's greatest player, and it's an honor for all of us to be on the court with him. But, you know, we just had to come out and play our game. And, we played good, we rebounded well, we shot the ball well, and, you know, we won the game.
Tonight there was so much attention in the backcourt where Michael was, but you were successfully able to exploit the Bulls' inside game.
I just, you know, try to, you know, do the same thing I do every night, and that's just take the ball, go up strong, and, you know, I did that, and, you know, Penny Hardaway played a great game, Nick Anderson played a great game, and we won.
It's been a tough week for you guys. You faced Phoenix, now Chicago. Is it like getting a monkey off your back, especially on the road, getting a win here in Chicago?
Yeah, we just wanted to come in and, you know, get a road win. Our road record was 16 and 15, so we want to try to create space on the road.
Okay, a big win for the Orlando Magic, 24 points and 16 boards for Shaquille O'Neal.
Thank you, Nicole. And the Orlando Magic, 106-99. Shaquille, Horace Grant, Nick Anderson, Penny Hardaway. A real balanced team effort for the best team in the East. Ernie Johnson will join us with scores right after this.